Having me come down to the show today. I'm here with my book. It's called My Appetite for Destruction. I hope you enjoy it. And plus, we got a single, and I'm very glad. Thank you for your...
And scene.
And scene.
Stephen Adler, Chips Enough. We're here for Adler's Appetite in the book. And we have a single out coming out, and we're on tour, 50-city tour. And once again, coming to see our brother Howard Stern.
And we love you, Howard. Thank you for having us.
Chip's here with Steven. Steven's promoting his new book. Steven wrote a book called Stephen Adler's book, My Appetite for Destruction.
Hey there.
There he is. There's Steven. And there's Chip. Look at Chip's Enough. Hey, Steven.
Is Steven going to walk right out of the studio? He keeps walking.
Good seeing you. Good seeing you. Yeah, sit down. We'll talk.
Where's the monkey crew?
There's the crew.
Come on. You got to get on mic, Steven.
Steven, get on mic. All right.
He's
hey, Chip.
spreading the love all around. How are you? I'll hug you later.
I love you, Robin.
Steven's got a death grip on you. He's like a boa constrictor. You could squeeze a man to death, couldn't you?
Nothing like good love, Howard.
Look at his team up, huh? Chip's Enough, one of the great guitar players of all time.
Great guitar player, songwriter.
Hail you.
Before I get into your new book, which is interesting, Chip's Enough. I'm going to say it again. I've said it before. This fucking guy should have been one of the biggest rock stars on the planet.
He will be.
Well, listen to me. I'm talking about
Planet's almost done. Come on.
man, come on. We're almost dead.
Gotta hurry up.
This fucker can play his ass off, can he?
Of course he can. That's why I work with him.
Years ago, I saw him play in a club, with Enough's Enough. He was up on stage. You have the charisma, the chops to play. Been doing it your whole life, right?
Thank you, my friend. You have always been so loyal to me, and you're a family with me the rest of your life. Yeah, absolutely.
Always.
I'm dedicating my life to this profession.
Where are you living now? Chicago?
I live in Los Angeles at his house.
At Steven's house?
Yeah.
You're living in Steven's house.
Right in the house.
Studio City.
This fucker should be living in a mansion.
It is a mansion.
No, I know.
That's what he made.
His own mansion.
Yeah, but Chip needs his mansion. He needs a moat with alligators and everything.
Trim in the backyard pool.
That's coming next. That's what we're going to. That's what we want to accomplish with Adler's Appetite.
I always said Chip's going to be one of the biggest stars. I had all the money on this guy.
Well, after we did that metal show,
right.
I told Chip, because he would always go around, that Chippy, I'm just twinkle, twinkle.
Well, listen.
Little star. I said, after we did that metal show, there's no more twinkle, twinkle.
I'm just going on record as saying Chip was supposed to have it all as far as I'm concerned. He got his share of pussy, don't get me wrong.
He lived it all.
He lived the rock star lifestyle, but the big payday wasn't there, was it, Chip?
No.
Never.
That money went to bankruptcy.
It's bullshit.
Yeah. Not yet. Not it will. It's coming. It's on its way.
Steven, for every band out there that's a Guns N' Roses, there's 10 million that didn't really get the big payday, right?
That's why Guns N' Roses was such a unique thing, and like Aerosmith or Queen. It's hard to get 4 or 5 guys together that actually. There's so many musicians, but if you get 4 or 5 guys that had the same goals, the same dream, and the same drive.
And the odds of meeting each other.
Yeah.
But you were friends with Slash since you were what?
11.
11 years old. Have you reconciled with Slash?
Of course.
I remember on Celebrity Rehab, you cried one time. You said, I miss Slash.
One time.
Many times. Since Celebrity Rehab, have you maintained a sober lifestyle?
I've had, to be honest, I've had, as all addicts, relapses.
Right.
But I've got 5 months going right now.
Right now.
It's been right now.
How you feeling?
I feel wonderful.
You feel clear?
I have a new book. I got a new single.
When he relapses, what does he do?
What does he do?
Well, you know what? This is really...
Heroin.
No. You know what happened on this last relapse?
Right.
And it might sound kind of crazy because of all the drugs I have done.
Pot.
Oxycontin. I never did that before.
You found a new one.
You found something new.
Yeah, Slash actually told me about that.
And they call that hillbilly heroin. So why try it though? You knew.
It was one of those,
Chip,
this won't hurt.
Chip, we see this. We see this all the time.
3 weeks later, I'm back in rehab.
Chip, we see this all the time. The rock and roll lifestyle, the drugs. It's too much, right? You smoke weed a lot, right?
Tons.
Tons. Now, when you're around Steven, you're recording with your new band, do you try to curtail your weed smoking around him at all?
Of course
No,
not.
I'm not bothering him when it comes
Yeah,
to
that doesn't bother
It's a
me.
small part of my lifestyle.
Nothing bothers me with other people. I mean, I wouldn't particularly want to watch people shooting up
Right.
or smoking crack, because it's an ugly thing to see to begin with.
It's tempting.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But
Because
Chip,
I'm an addict,
but
and
Chip,
I'll
I
always
know,
be one.
But Chip smokes so much weed. I know that. He's like a cloud of smoke around
I'd
him.
rather him
Like
smoke
Pigpen.
weed
Yeah.
than cigarettes.
Linus,
Okay.
the dirty blanket.
All right, so let's get down to it. The new book is out. Steven Adler has written a book, believe it or not. That's right. They said he'd never write it, but he did.
I did
And,
with Larry Spangliola.
And the book is called My Appetite for Destruction. It's got the Guns N' Roses logo on the cover. And it is in stores now. And it is an incredible life. It is an incredible life.
Well, it's been very emotionally and spiritually healing for me doing this.
The thing that kills me, and this is what kills me, because I love musicians and I love rock and roll and I love Guns N' Roses.
Yes.
The odds, let's get back to it. The odds of making it in this business are a gazillion to one. And then for you guys not to be together, for you to destroy it with the drugs and everything, it kills me. Because Chip knows how rough it is.
And I do too.
Yeah, you know how many guys that you played with, and they were all around at the same time, and none of them made it.
Yeah, none of them's doing anything.
Yeah.
And
Let's review. Let's review.
no.
This is all from the book now. Steven started smoking weed at age 11.
Good Lord. Where'd you get weed at 11?
From Chip.
Believe me, kids out there at 11 years old are smoking weed.
Really?
Right.
There's a lot of masturbation, a lot of drinking, and a lot of smoking going on
Oh, my
at
God.
the age
At
of 11.
Now, Steven, is everything in
What
the book
happened to
true?
the age of
Because
innocence?
I remember from Celebrity Rehab when it was very dramatic. Your mother came into a
yes.
session. And she says, "Oh, Steven lies about everything. Steven's lying about everything he says. I was a great mother. Steven's full of shit, basically." And it set you off. You just were like, what the fuck are you talking about? Where's your relationship with your mother? And is she telling the truth that you are exaggerating?
There's some exaggeration because once at the period that my mom came into my life again there with on the Celebrity Rehab thing.
Right.
I was coming off of the drugs, so I was very cloudy. And things weren't.
But cloudy schmouty.
Yeah.
But cloudy schmouty.
I didn't lie. She definitely did those things, and it hurt me very much.
I mean, the things you said about your mother on Celebrity Rehab, I felt for you. I ached for you because you said, I was thrown out of my own home. My mother remarried. I guess your stepfather or something didn't want you in the house. She stuck up for the stepfather, threw you out on the street at age 14. 11. At age 11, you were thrown out of your Chip. Can you imagine?
My mother would never do that.
But at the time, you don't think you think that's the worst thing happening. But now, 30 years later, if she didn't, I would have never met Slash.
Is she saying you're
and all this wouldn't have happened?
Well, that's true.
But then again, the last 20 years wouldn't have sucked either.
You mean you met Slash?
But I didn't make him suck. I made it
You
suck.
met Slash because when you were thrown out of the house, was he in a similar situation? He was living on the street kind of thing?
No. I went to live with my grandmother.
Right.
And he was living with his grandmother.
Right.
And we just met at school.
And you were kindred spirits because you both didn't have your parents.
Yeah.
You ached for your parents.
And we had a desire to do music, play music.
Why was he living with his grandparents? What had his parents done?
Well, his mother and father separated.
Right.
Nothing bad. His parents were wonderful.
They ran off, did their own thing, and their son had to go live with grandma and grandpa.
Yeah. Well, his mom and dad were
unfucking
Thank God for Grandma and Grandpa.
You never had
I
children.
learned a lot from Grandma and Grandpa.
You never had children of your own, did you?
No, I have 3 dogs.
You have 3 dogs. And the reason you probably never had children is you said to yourself, you know what? I never got to be a child, really. I had to leave my home. I can't give anything to a child because
or maybe
I'm
you
still...
secretly say, those bastards they do nothing but cause trouble.
Yeah. Look what the trouble I caused my parents. I don't want to go through what they went through.
Stephen, because I think this is so unthinkable, how does one's mother come to you and tell you to get out? How did she do it? She walks up to you and says,
What's the
goodbye.
conversation?
No, I just came home from school and all my stuff was on the sidewalk.
Wow.
And then my grandmother, showed up like a half hour later. I was sitting on the street.
Fuck.
Well, my
Well, of
my
course
mother,
you're angry at her.
Yeah. Well, I have abandonment issues. I'm
You're
sure.
goddamn right you do.
And then what happened with Slash, I felt abandoned again. So then I totally went over the edge. You got to read the book, and you'll see all the everything in there.
If
He
my
doesn't have
mother,
abandonment issues. He was abandoned.
Yeah.
you don't have an imaginary abandonment, but your mother must have been embarrassed when she went on Celebrity Rehab. So she goes, "Oh, Steven's making it up. I never threw him out of the house."
She told me this after that came out. She said she's in this restaurant in Vegas, and a gentleman walks up to her and says, "Deanna, you're not the worst mother in the world." And he points to his mother and goes, "She is."
Your mom loved you, Chip, right?
Yeah, I've been so blessed with a great mother and father. They really set the tone for me. And when you were talking about Pot before, I don't think anything I've done has hindered my career. I've got 19 albums with Enough Snuff, a long, illustrious career. I've done records with Journey and Santana and Steve Miller Band, all these bands, and now I'm playing with Steven Adler from Guns N' Roses.
Right.
We're making brand new music, Adler's Appetite, and I'm real happy about it. I think we got a good chance to one more punch.
Understood. Steven,
we got a big punch, my brother. We're not done.
Going back to the book, we're going to get to the band, but first I want to promote your book.
Yes, thank you.
Did you ask your mom why she threw you out? In other words, if I came home and all my shit was on the, and believe me, my shit was embarrassing. I've seen what I would have ended up on the front lawn, bunch of nudist magazines, and a porno reel. When you and dildos, but I don't want to talk about that. Right? Remember, maybe one or two gay magazines. I don't know what was in there. But listen to me. What did you?
Now I know why your father used to always say, "Just shut up, Mom, you moron."
Why did you? For God's sake, did you say when your mother throws you out and you're 11? Now I remember being 11. You're a little kid.
A little. I look at kids now. They're unbelievable.
Did you get on your hands and knees and say, "Mommy, please don't throw me out"?
No, when I look back, how it all started was when I met a garage band who were, older kids, lived down the street, had a garage band, and it was the first time I ever drank.
Right.
And I beer bonged 6 Old English 800s.
Geez, you dived right in.
What a way to start.
I sort of remember I was trying to leave, and then I fall off my bike, and all I remember is the 3 guys walked me back to my house down the street, knocked on the door, and ran. And I walk in, and my mother's having a Tupperware party. And I just look at everybody and just throw up in front of everybody and pass out on my bed.
So you were a bad
I think that
kid.
was like the beginning.
Right. So your mother had enough.
I wasn't bad.
Right.
I wasn't hurting people. I was just young and energetic and wanted to experience life.
A real mother would have put her arm around you and said, "Steven, you're hurting yourself. I need to talk to you about this. What are you doing? You're drinking at 11 years old."
Well, that was just the first time. It didn't go nuts.
But it would have been a nice, reassuring thing. But she threw you out, and there you were. And as you say, you've turned it into something good. And you say, "Well, I wouldn't have met Slash." But
Yes.
but please, I mean, give me a break. I mean,
You could live without that.
Yeah, believe me.
But
I've met Slash. I'm fine.
I had a great, besides, in my book, I talk about the sexual abuse and the drug abuse.
Now,
when
let
I
me
was
talk to you
younger.
about sexual abuse for a second, because this is unbelievable to me. You've had so much gay sex, really.
No.
Oh,
I
boy.
mean,
I didn't have so much gay sex, Howard.
You attracted to Chip at all?
We'll discuss the hand jobs and Diamond Dave and $100 he owes me later.
I'm going to read you some stuff. I'm going to read you some stuff here. When Steven was 14 years old and in the 8th grade, he had sex. This is a female. The 36-year-old mother of Slash's girlfriend.
Good Lord.
So Slash is in a room fucking his girlfriend, and you go and fuck the mother.
Yes.
You
How
are
does that
something.
work?
Yeah.
It's one of those things in life that just happened.
Was the mother super hot?
She was a very sweet lady, yes.
That's a great experience.
So you're sitting there talking to her while Slash is doing her daughter, and
Well, yeah. Well, actually, she's the one who taught me how to roll joints.
All right, here's the molestation. Here's the molestation stuff, because this is really not funny.
Yes.
All right. As a teenager, you went to a club. They would give you Quaaludes, and then they would have their way with you.
No. You make it all crazy.
Well, this is what it
this
says.
was just it was one thing.
Were you misquoted in your own
I
book?
was misquoted. It was just one time that happened.
The managers of the club.
Yeah, there was an older teenager and an older guy. They gave me drugs.
Right.
And they took advantage of me.
They gave you what, hand jobs and blew you?
they had, took advantage
The
of
manager
me.
of the club blew you. Did they try to put it in your ass too?
Of course.
They did.
They did.
Oh, I was afraid of that.
Now, Stephen.
Well, you can't get sexually abused and not get fucked in the ass.
But
I know. I was like,
That's the whole thing of abuse.
Stephen.
I don't want those Quaaludes. They make my ass hurt. Yeah.
Stephen, once that happened to me, I'd be off drugs forever. Forget Dr. Drew. Dr. Drew should have fucked you in the ass. Would have got you right out of that shit. All right, here you go.
No disrespect to Dr. Drew. I love
People
him.
would pull up beside you in their cars, and this is when your life was in drugs and stuff, and ask if I wanted to smoke a joint. I'd be like, sure. The next thing you know, you're completely baked, and they're touching you all over, and you don't know what the fuck is going on. All you know is that an orgasm feels good. Anybody can make you come, and in that state, I didn't have the presence of mind to give a damn. I was used, abused, whatever. So again, these drugs lead to some gay shenanigans.
Well, yeah, but it's not as many as you make it sound like. But I was growing. This was the mid. This was the late 70s.
Yeah.
Hollywood. I grew up off Santa Monica Boulevard in Fairfax.
I have a gay cousin.
Just walk into Slash's house, there was all the gay bars and stuff like that, and I was a cute young teenage boy.
You were a handsome kid.
Yeah, I mean,
at age 14, Stephen was raped by the guys who invited them to an apartment to get high.
Jeez.
That was the same thing.
And they hurt you badly.
That was the same people from the club.
Same people in the club.
Yeah, that was the same night.
Did you learn not to hang out with those people?
That only happened to one night. It was the club was the Starwood.
It's awful.
Yeah. And it was off Crescent Heights in Santa Monica. So actually the first club I saw Nikki Sixx play with the band London.
Well, let me tell you something.
I learned how to play drums from hanging at the club and watching all the bands, do sound check and perform.
It
was just one bad night. But one bad night is all it takes to last a lifetime.
Sure.
So actually what I want to do when I get home is I'm going to make a big fire, and I'm going to throw the book in the fire, and I'm going to take the next 10, 15 years and make a new story with my life.
There you go.
Stephen, but you more than made up.
Take the past.
These few gay experiences, as you say, were behind you because you made up with it with women through the roof.
But do you think that was an overcompensation?
No.
No.
That was a dream come true.
Chip, this guy fucked more women, right?
Yeah.
You know, right?
Yeah.
I know you did a lot of sex when you were in Enough's Enough. I saw you one night in a club. There were a whole bunch of broads back there. I didn't know what was going on. But this guy, he puts them all to shame, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's been very blessed, as he would say.
Right.
His life started off tough as a kid, and it progressed as he got more successful.
Here's the rock star lifestyle. You'll learn about it in Stephen's new book. Here it is. You ready? Slash and I would get these girls and fuck them back and forth. Now listen to this. Did you do that with your band? Did you fuck some girls and then share with Donnie and this and that and the other thing?
No.
Never.
Anybody, and he had Vicky Fox in his band, so anybody that Vicky was with, nobody wanted to be with.
Who was a better lay, you or Slash, sexually? You have a bigger penis than Slash?
No, Slash is hung like a horse.
He is?
Yeah.
And is he better?
He's part black.
Right.
So he's got that going for him.
You didn't have that.
I'm like you, I'm part Jew.
It became sex everywhere, anywhere, anytime. It just happened. If I saw a girl I approach her, and that would be it. You and me right now. There was no such thing as warming up to the situation. The situation was, hey, bend over and do it.
Down on your knees.
Wow. How many women you think you had sex with in your entire life?
Well, let's just say I had sex with 9 women with Steven Tyler in the back of the tour bus one night.
You write about that night. Yeah. You and Steven Tyler, the great Steven Tyler of Aerosmith, a legend.
What is this all this joint sex, though, Howard?
It's a little gay. If you ask me, there's too many men around when you're having your sex.
Hey, believe me, Steven Tyler's got a huge rig.
Take me back.
So it was difficult, but it was like, hey, this is Steven Tyler. I got to do this.
When you describe in your book,
to happen.
You describe in your book your night with Steven Tyler. You're on the tour bus with him, and there are women there. You're about, what, 9 deep in women?
Yeah.
Okay. And Steven says, watch this. and he begins to orchestrate scenarios. Yes. That's his thing.
He's a great producer. Great
what does
director.
that mean, a great producer? What would he say? What would he tell these women
you
to
two
do?
girls go over here. You start eating her pussy. You eat her pussy. You go suck on her titty. You come over. Both of you are start sucking off Steven over here right now. Oh, you two come over here. You start licking my ass. You start sucking my balls. You start my. And it's just like a pile of flesh in the back of the bus.
When you're seeing something like this,
who knows what cock was going in?
Steven, when
I can't believe I don't have AIDS and I came out of this alive.
Yeah, how did you come out of this alive?
I don't know.
No rubbers are used, right? Everyone's
of
fucking.
Course not.
No babies out of this. Nothing.
No, well, as far as I know.
Did you pull out? Was that your thing, or did you come inside?
Of course.
You pull out.
That's what the face is for.
And you never said to yourself, "Oh my God, this is so dangerous." I know I'm pulling out. I could get her pregnant, or she could have AIDS, or something like this. Because you can't have much respect for a woman. I mean, what is with these women? What do you think is going on with them?
Where do you get these women?
Robin, you're a woman. You explain this.
I can't explain this.
You can't explain this?
Stephen, do you become numb to sex and love and all of that kind of thing?
Well, drugs and alcohol, it numbs everything. And when you're young, you could drink and do drugs and still fuck. You could still get a hard on. But once you get like our age, you can't drink like that. You can't do drugs and still get a hard on. And it's like,
Speak for yourself.
You're not doing what they were doing.
I'm high. And
well, now that I'm not
high,
doing the drugs.
I'm high right now and have a boner the size of this room. All right, listen to me. So when you're in the bus with Steven...
Bullshit.
When you're in the bus with Steven Tyler and all of this is going on, is there ever a time, now this might sound crazy to you guys, but is there ever a time you feel bad for the women? Do you ever say to yourself, Jesus Christ, what are they doing with their lives, these broads?
No.
Never.
Never.
It's rock and roll.
It's rock and roll.
There's never a time?
This is a dream come true. I would have girls suck on my cock while I'd be watching Family Guy, and I wouldn't even have a heart on it. It was just for the fact that they would do it.
Wow.
You know, all right, go ahead.
But did you ever, I mean, was there ever love?
Yeah, I had my first wife I love, my second wife I love and adore.
Mm-hmm.
When you're involved in a scene like that,
Wendy.
When you're involved in a scene, there's so many bodies on top of bodies. By accident, do you and Steven Tyler start making out and then go, oh, shit?
Say, do you ever touch each other?
I felt his rig.
Oh.
You did? You squeezed his rig?
Not outside the pants.
Right.
Because it started off with, he started telling girls what to do, and then I was sitting there going, here, come on, suck on his cock. It's no big deal, here.
And you're shaking his cock.
Yeah, I mean, he has pants on. I'm going, here, go suck on his cock. Come here. Well, I learned a lot from Tyler. He's a very, very amazing man.
Listen to this. Steven and Izzy Stradlin would get blowjobs together. Steven writes, she sucked one of us off while she jacked off the other, and then she would alternate. She swallowed Izzy's load at the moment I came, and I shot all over her face.
Of course. That many a night.
Wild, huh?
Many a night. That's the rock and roll dream.
Do you miss that the most?
No. I'm just glad I got to experience it and come out of it alive.
Is it? But like now, it all seems like a dream, doesn't it? I mean,
yeah, of course.
It wouldn't be bad if you and Chip were there and Robin all of a sudden took her clothes off and started sucking you guys off like the old days.
Yeah. Robin, yes.
She'll never do it.
Fox. Robin the Fox. Oh, I've been thinking about Robin for the last year since I was there last.
Really?
Steven writes.
Stop that.
Steven writes, Duff and I would have contests to see who could get the most blowjobs in a single day, and I won every time. Why did you win?
Because
Are you the cutest?
I worked harder at it. I cared more.
Steven writes.
It was for the band. I was going to do it for the band, and we were going to win.
You're proud of that you got more blowjobs than them.
Well, what teenage boy, a young man in his 20s, wouldn't be proud of that?
After a while, don't the blowjobs all blend into one another?
That's what I was saying. I would have them suck on my cock. It wouldn't even be hard.
What are the most?
Just for the fact that they would do it.
What were the most blowjobs in one day?
15
blowjobs, and sometimes you wouldn't even come.
I wouldn't even come. You could come like maybe when you're that age, in 20, you come maybe 5-6 times.
I got to tell you something. Sometimes if I'm getting a blowjob and I'm with a woman and it's lasting more than 2 minutes, I feel bad that I'm not coming. And I would think you would have some remorse would say, Chip, you too, right?
Chip's shaking his head. He
absolutely. But Steven would say, she sucks all day. He doesn't care.
Yeah, it's like a thimble. He's watching cartoons. He doesn't care.
I mean, Steven, at some point you look down and go, all right, honey, 20 minutes of sucking. It's enough.
It's enough. No. But when you're in your 20s, go ahead.
Do you think that that's a coldness in a sense because you were thrown out of your house, because you didn't have your mother's love? Do you think in a way you were getting back at all women?
I'm pretty sure all of it has to, do with that. Everything has to do with how you grew up and what the experiences you had in your growing, strengthening years.
You had so many women that at one point you write, Slash and you would have orgies with 5 chicks at a time. And if you didn't like the way one of the chicks looked, if she was a little subpar, you'd send her over to your road crew to fuck. Right?
Of course.
Where the girls, you would cripple a girl for life.
You got to take care of the road crew. You got to take care of them.
So in other words, if there are 5 girls, one's real fat and gross, you'd say, hey, honey, you leave. And they would, that must have crushed the girl's spirit, true? I mean, when you think back on it.
There's a lot of fat girls got fucked.
They did. You weren't that discriminating. Well, that's very nice of you.
You got to remember, Slash is walking around with a rig, like 15 inches, okay? He needs something to pack that in.
Now, where does a girl go if she gets rejected by the road crew? Then it's really bad, right?
Where do you go then?
I think you just go home after that. Shoot yourself.
Chip, he lived the ultimate rock and roll dream, right? I mean, because the band was so hugely financially and creatively successful, right? That's the ultimate dream.
That's the dream.
Yeah, and I think when you're that age, he overabused the privilege.
Exactly, it's true.
It was a gift for him.
It was a gift. It was a gift.
Yeah, I blamed the guys for letting me down, for throwing me out of the band.
Right.
I blamed them, but what I've realized, by doing this book, is they didn't let me down. I let them down.
Now that you're sober, why can't you say to Axl? Why can't you say to Axl Rose, the lead singer, listen, Axl, it's time for a Guns N' Roses to get back. I know you got a band with Chip now and all that, and that can go on as well.
Oh, Axl has a band with...
So what?
I don't know who the hell.
Right, exactly. Why can't you sit down with these guys, be the peacemaker, and say, listen, guys, we had it all. We could have it again. Let's go on tour. Let's do it. I'm now sober. Slash is sober. Axl, come on. Let's sit down and get over it.
Everybody's sober. Duff, Izzy.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm really hoping that Axl will read my book and see and realize... Well, I can't call. I don't know how to get hold of him.
You want me to do it with you?
I would love it. But what I want him to do is to read the book, and maybe he'll realize how close. Oh, yes, he does.
He does read.
He's very, very.
Robin says he doesn't read.
No, I saw him reading.
You did see him?
He's a very, very intellectual.
Why
very
did you?
Intellectual guy. But I'm hoping he'll read this and see what we had and how close we were and how much it really meant, not just to us, but to the world. And hopefully he'll realize that, hey, whatever happened in the past happened. The part it's of the over, book, it's done. I don't hate any of those guys. I love them.
The part of the book,
I love Axl.
Did you ever feel Axl's rig?
I've seen his rig. He's another one who walked up and said, where do these guys come from? The Midwest or something like that, with these horse things.
You know who's got a big rig? Man on the couch there, Chip.
I know.
Right?
I've seen that thing in action a few times. I know already.
Chip, how big are you? Seriously, how many inches are you? At this point.
Let me see. Let me see his arm.
I'm very grateful.
You are grateful.
Yes.
Right about there.
What is it with all the guys that you are around? They have big rigs. You seem to attract these guys. One night I saw Chip strumming his guitar with his rig. You should have seen it. It's fucking crazy. That's right. All right, let me understand something.
You see him tied in a knot.
Can you do that, Chip?
I can make a little watch.
How many inches do you think you are? Seriously.
I really don't know. It hasn't been a big thing of mine. I'm just grateful that I've.
Well, look how big his hands are. You get an idea from his hands.
Yeah, it's never been a big deal about that. And people that are small and stuff, I say, God bless them, because there's other things you can do besides. You can dine and please the woman that way. You don't have to have a huge rig.
Have you ever, in a situation in rock and roll, where you pull down your pants and a woman goes, I'm out of here. I can't handle this fucking thing? Or they all accommodate?
They attack it.
They attack it.
Yeah, that's the Last Supper.
They love it.
Very, very blessed.
Out of all the rockers you guys are both sing, who has the biggest rig? Is it Chips enough?
I'd say Slash and Steven Tyler.
Look at this Slash, huh?
Yeah.
And Steven Tyler's got a big rig.
Huge, unbelievable. Well, geez, it frightened me.
What?
I was embarrassed to pull my thing out. I was like, geez.
Wow. So
yeah, like you say, all the guys around. What the hell?
I don't get it. Imagine Tyler's got a big rig. He's a small guy.
Oh, look at his hands. He's got huge hands.
I got huge hands. I don't know what happened.
We got the Jew in us. It's the Jew.
Wait, Jew. I got slapped a yarmulke. All right, listen to me.
Hey, did you see my bar mitzvah picture in there?
Let me see that. I will take a look. How did you have a bar mitzvah if you were thrown out of the house?
My grandma.
Your grandma. Oh, she's a decent woman. I hope when you made money, you gave her a whole bunch of dough.
Oh, of course.
You did? Okay, let me see.
At the bar mitzvah.
Look, it's you doing the baruchas. Look at that. Here you go. Talk to me about
Do you see your picture in there?
Here's something. Let me see my picture.
Yeah.
I didn't know I made it in the book.
You're such a jag-off. You didn't even look at this, did you?
I'm going to look at it.
Son of a...
You think I know how to read? Let me see this. Oh, yeah, look at this. Look what's going on. Look how handsome I am. Holy mackerel.
Chiseled.
How chiseled. Good Lord. Hey, so Stephen, beautiful.
Yeah, well, this is, I think, for you. You keep
Thank you. Is it autographed?
No, not yet.
Later.
I will.
All right. Stephen, I didn't understand something from the book. You say that, you only smoked heroin, you were afraid of needles. And then at one point you said, fuck it. And then you started shooting up.
Well, I was so naive to it that when I watched Izzy and Slash, shoot up, I didn't even know that they had to put it in a vein, or find the vein, put it in there, and draw blood. I thought they just stuck it in their arm anywhere and just shot it in there.
Yeah.
Right. Who knew?
I had no idea.
Right.
And then one night I let Izzy, do it. I said, everybody in the band, well, not Axel, but the other guys, we were all partying.
Right.
And I want to be a part of the band. I want to, they were all in one room partying,
right.
And I was in a room by myself. And I was like, I want to, be a part of it. So I did what, try with the band.
You were left out of that room because you weren't shooting up.
Yeah.
And so you felt, in a way, it's such weird peer pressure.
Abandonment, oh my God.
Another abandonment. You wanted to be part of the group.
I'm learning so much. Exactly. Wow, I didn't even realize that until just now. God damn it.
Hey, by the way, I'm looking at the pictures here. Look at this picture. This is a picture of Steven Tyler's cock. It's huge. I can't believe it. Well, the book is called, let me tell you what's going on. Stephen Adler's book, My Appetite for Destruction, is in stores now. He is now an author.
Yes.
Yes, just like yourself. I want to be a prize-winning author like you.
Band-wise, I'm excited you're with Chip's Enough. Yes. I love Chip very much.
I love my Chippy.
And the new...
My Chippy Poo.
Chippy with the big cock. The new band is called Adler's Appetite.
Yes, sir.
Everything is appetite. The book is appetite.
Well, appetite, it just worked for me.
It says it all.
It's a very powerful word.
And what is it? You got an album?
I got it. Well, we got a single that I'm hoping that you'll debut for us
All
today.
right, I'll play a little bit of the single.
No, the whole thing.
Whole fucking thing?
The whole fucking 2.5 minutes.
Okay. What is this song? You wrote this song?
Yeah, the whole band wrote this song.
Who sings?
We got Ricky the Rig Stitch singing.
Yes.
Another Rig.
Right.
See, all around me, the Rigs.
Right.
Jesus
Go
Christ.
ahead.
We got Alex, the Prince Grossi, on guitar.
Right. Yes.
Michael, Mr. T. Thomas, on lead guitar. And Tips Enough, of course, on bass.
Right.
My rhythm brother.
Right.
And the Snaggletooth Jagoff myself on drums.
Look at that. So you got the whole new band, and you guys will be out playing and all of that.
Yes.
Someone once told me, for drummers, it's a weird gig sometimes. That sometimes a drummer will go to a club, get paid to play the drums to the album, like you, in your case, a Guns N' Roses album.
Well, I played with a DJ a few times, not to the Guns N' Roses record, but to other people's, songs.
So you can
it
show
was a
up.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
And people will watch you play the drum. Because I know Tommy Lee does that as well.
Yeah, I did the same thing. And the Charles Barkley?
Travis Barker.
Travis Barker,
He does that too?
Yeah, really
and you still got the big mansion where Chip is now holed up, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, and so you didn't lose your money after all these drugs and everything.
I lost a lot of it for a while, but once I sobered up and got my life back together, I started getting it back.
Nice.
Well, once I stopped giving it to the Colombians and the Mexicans, and then I started seeing that my way. I am making money.
Good.
So I got to save some.
Good. I like that. I like to hear that too. And you were friends, of course, with the late great Sam Kinison, weren't you?
Of course.
But you were not a fan of Jessica Hahn for some reason. Why is that? You didn't like when he was dating her?
I really don't give a shit.
You don't give a shit about her. All right, so
I mean, nothing against her. Actually, I was in rehab with her.
Oh, no kidding?
No kidding.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, just remember that.
Never did her. Never hooked up.
Yeah.
No, what a shame.
I used to hang with Kinison a long time ago, too.
Yes,
at CC's house in Mulholland Drive.
Poison, right.
And everybody we'd stay there till 4 or 5 in the morning down in CC's basement. They had a Brinks truck full of blow, and we would just jam all night, and it was great. Donnie V on the drums, put 2 cigarettes in each hand.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Steve Lukather, I shouldn't be saying these names. I don't want to be disrespectful. I like all these guys are great players and terrific musicians.
Yes.
Right. Not everyone was doing coke. Let's be fair.
Most were.
The coke was just sitting there. It was
Everyone
nobody
was doing
using
coke.
Everybody was bumping back then. It was fashionable.
I think when just in one night, I ruined $1,000 worth of coke just trying to cook it up.
No kidding.
Turning it into mush.
People were mad at you, I bet.
Too much baking soda.
Did you guys ever date any
Never
famous
a good
women?
cook.
Did you ever get the famous? I know you'd say in your book you had a little thing with Rachel Hunter. She was a great beauty.
Beautiful woman.
You had her
Very
when she
sweet
was
lady.
18, but you never had sex with her, did you? You never had. Oh, you did. You banged her. Look at you.
I don't want Rod Stewart calling me up again.
He'll
I love
what
Rod
is it?
Stewart. I respect and love
Rod
Rod
called
Stewart
him.
too much. I
Rod
don't want to
called
call
him?
Oh, yeah.
Why did Rod call him?
Because she was pissed that I mentioned that I made out with his
Says he's gonna kill him.
future wife.
Rod said,
That I'm going to send him over there to kill you. And I'm calling, dude, I love you so much. I can't believe you're calling me. Wow. You want to kill me?
"What did you
love
do the wrong thing? What? Because you were into
I
Rachel
mentioned
Hunter?
it. I mentioned it in an interview.
It wasn't while he was seeing her, right?
No.
But when I mentioned it, he was seeing her.
Is that why in the book you say you just made out with her? You don't want to say you fucked
Yeah, I
her?
don't want to disrespect her. And I don't want to. I look up to Rod too much.
Aren't they divorced now? I mean, should he?
I
Really,
don't know.
I mean, what is this? I mean, come on, Chip.
All right,
It's
I
rock
ate
and
her
roll.
pussy.
I think they had
She has
some
a pretty
children
little
together.
ass. I ate it.
Wait,
And
Chip's
just-
explaining. What is
I
this?
think they had some children together, and they, out of respect, you don't want to hear anybody
Yes.
speaking about the kid's mom like that, and I understand it.
Steven says, too, he dated Christina Applegate. She's a beauty. huh?
Wonderful woman.
Yeah,
And I
what
saw
happened?
actually on her mother's birthday is on the same day as my birthday, and we were up at
Why don't
the
you
Magic
marry-
Castle
Yeah.
or Yamashiro's.
Yep.
And for my birthday, and she was up there, and I got to see her. She's very beautiful.
Why
Wonderful girl.
don't you marry that broad? What was wrong with her?
Nothing. I was too fucked up, and she had too much going for her.
Yeah, she said, hey, I can't hook up with this guy. He's going to
Hell
embarrass
no.
me. That's right.
See, look what I did to my first wife, poor thing.
Says here you even had sex with porn star Tabitha Stevens. Is that correct?
Is
Off
that
frequent-
right?
On your show, the first time I did it in your green room.
Is that right? You fucked in my green
Wait
room?
a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Chip, what do you make of that?
He'll leave banana juice anywhere.
No, it's not banana juice, Chippy. It's pineapple banana juice.
Oh, man.
I didn't know that was going on in our studios.
Oh, yeah.
Did you eat Rachel Hunter's ass?
I like it was going on in style.
Love. You're the man. You're the man. Look at you. All right. So the new band is called Adler's Appetite, as you know. Chip's enough, a great player. Chip, you married still or what? You're divorced,
No,
right?
I'm single.
You're single?
Yeah, I think that's the best thing for the right now.
Yeah.
Hold my attention to the band.
Put your attention on the band.
Yeah.
We're in a different time right now. You can come up with a great song and put it instantly on iTunes and Rhapsody and eMusic if you have a name.
Right.
A new band, it can't be done. But for guys like us who have a history,
Yes.
bingo. One, two, three, until you get 10 songs, then put the record out.
Right.
Why
Yeah.
make the fans wait all this time?
This is the marketing plan. Make a song, stick it right on the fucking
Well,
internet, and let's go.
And go tour.
Yeah,
Support
and go
it.
to it. Well, look what happened. We were talking about that chick who did some single, and she was on that dance show or whatever.
Yeah, just recently.
Yeah, so she did one single.
Are you guys thinking of going on a dance show and maybe
Oh,
promoting
me
the
and
single?
Chippy together.
Right.
Definitely.
Would you guys team up and go on Dancing with the Stars and dance with each other?
Well, our manager Marty has to look at the
Yeah.
offer, but I'm interested.
Vanessa, and we'll see what
I should
Vanessa
see
Chip,
says.
that.
you're single. You're at Steven's place. You're bringing some broads back there and banging once in a while. You're hitting it real hard over there.
No.
That's not
At,
the party
at
it
this point
used
in
to
my
be.
life, it's who cares who drives the bus? Let's get to the picnic.
Yeah.
I'm not playing any games
What does
at
that
all right
mean,
now.
You're not
Howard?
playing games.
There's not much
No.
sex going
You
on
know
in
what
my
it means,
house.
Robin. When is the last time? When is the last time you got laid, Chip? How long has it been?
Months and months ago, my old girlfriend Susie that was here.
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
Months? And can you believe this? What happened with you guys?
I think you hit a certain age and you lose that.
Yeah, you don't care
I'm
anymore.
more focused
I want
on
to
doing
focus
good
on
things.
other things. I
We're
want to
not-
focus on important things.
As
I don't
Grandpa
know.
would say, we're not built to last, but hopefully our work is.
Yes.
I don't know what the picnic is or the bus, but it sounds like you've matured. In
You're
some
getting
way.
on it in a
That's
while.
right. That's right. So,
It's all good.
is Chip saying he likes going to picnics? I don't know.
No.
And Steven, you getting laid, or is it like kind of,
There's no sex going on in my house, in my
look
life.
at this?
He had a girlfriend during the show. What happened to her?
I had a wife. I still have a wife.
That's right.
Oh, still no sex going on in this house.
Well, I've been married 10 years.
You still got the wife?
Of course. I got the wife.
And Chip, you got your own room in the mansion, or?
Absolutely. He just give me the whole house.
They
They're very kind. They treat me really well.
How long you been in this room at the house?
I've been there for about 1.5 years now.
1.5 years?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, I stay out of the way. I don't bother anybody.
We've been together.
I'm playing
5
with the
years.
doggies and stuff.
Rent free.
Yeah, of course.
Does he ever yell at you like, "Hey, Chip, can you fucking back off and get out of the kitchen so me and my wife can have some alone time?"
Honest to God, never. Not once.
I yell at him, "God damn it, get in the kitchen and cook something."
Yeah, that's about it.
Do you share the housework?
Of
do you ever
course
clean
I
up?
do. I'm very good. I'm very domesticated. I was married 23 years.
Do you clean up the bathroom after you?
Absolutely. Dishes,
He's very
kitty
clean.
cat litter.
He's very clean.
Yeah, everything.
Are there other rock stars living in the mansion, or is it just you?
No.
As far as I know,
one chip is enough.
One chip is enough.
One chip is enough.
Do you ever feel self-conscious being in the house? Like, oh, gee, maybe Steven and his wife want to be alone, or
That's
maybe
the
I'm
only
in the
thing
way.
that bothers me sometimes because I cherish their relationship. I know it's like the sanctity of a marriage.
Yeah.
I try to stay out of the way. I don't want to bother him too much. But then he yells at me, "What are you doing? Get over here!"
And what happens if you're sitting in a room, you're watching TV, Steven's there, the wife's there, and you are watching a show, and Steven wants a different show? Is it you have to acquiesce to what
That's
Steven
one
wants?
thing that I lost. I don't have any
He has
rights
no
at all.
You have no rights.
privilege.
Yeah, when he goes to
I
bed at 3,
control
4 in the
the
morning,
remote.
I'll sneak and change the channel and put on something, news, some kind of current event to see what's going on in the world, because all day it drives me crazy. It's Family Guy and all the cartoons and stuff, and I'm losing my mind there.
Do you ever say, "Gee, I like the guy, but maybe intellectually, you think you could step it up and stop watching cartoons"?
Well, actually, those cartoons are very well written.
They are well written.
Seth MacFarlane's a genius.
Do you think
okay?
because his childhood was taken away, he's obsessed with the cartoons
Yes.
and he's living it?
Yeah, and the last thing I want to do is be a wheel. I don't want to stop it. I think he's enjoying his life, and I don't want to be anywhere where it's going to...
Would it be fair to say that Steven should give you a night where you get to be in control?
No, I don't pay any bills
no
or anything
control.
there.
Not with the TV. No.
Do you ever find yourself getting attracted to Steven's wife? You're around her?
And I would say it right now because she's very, very attractive, but not at all.
No.
I'm an older guy right now, and I just like I
Steven
looked at your
doesn't get
wife or something. I don't look at it like that.
Steven doesn't get upset or jealous sometimes. She comes down in her nightie. She's got her tits are out.
I look at her like a beautiful sister.
Have you ever
like
accidentally seen Steven's wife running around the house nude?
No comment.
I haven't even seen my wife running around the house nude.
She never cuddles with you. Like Steven gets into a knockdown, drag-out fight with her. She comes, "Chip, I have to talk to you." She's in her negligee. She's like, "Chip, he's a monster." And you start hugging her, and then one thing leads to another.
No, that's a pretty good story.
You're a troublemaker. You're an instigator.
I'll have you out of the house in a day.
That might be for the Chips Enough book at HarperCollins.
Were you ever taking a bath and she comes in and starts to sponge bathe you?
I don't take baths. That's very...
Have you ever caught her coming out of the shower and you start to dry her off with a towel?
Man, I'm telling you, I haven't even seen her naked in the
She's
house.
getting it somewhere. It's got to be with this guy.
He's taking care of her, I'm sure.
Yeah, right. Who knows?
All I know is I learned the reason that I still have a wife is because I learned a secret.
Yeah.
At first, her words would come out of her mouth, and I'd eventually get them to go over my head.
Right.
Now I've gone and I've gotten to the part where I can control her words. The words leave her mouth; they don't even hit my ear.
Really?
It's like, "Chippy, did you hear something?"
Did you guys
later? Did you hear something?
Did you
Oh,
guys
it's TV.
listen to the Mel Gibson tapes? You understand. You just wanted a blowjob. He's supporting this woman. I mean, on some level, did you understand where the anger was coming from, guys?
He has a hard on. He didn't want to jack off anymore. I have no idea.
If he fell off his wall, he'd break his neck 50 times.
exactly.
I understand that. And she might be... she's mother of some of his kids, right?
Right.
One.
I thought
I
you said
think
his girlfriend.
once you have children together, we have to stay out of that. Sanctity of marriage is so important. It's up to
Guys,
the couple. To
Would you
take care of
ever
that.
consider letting Mel move into Steven's house with you guys and
He
maybe
sounds like
hanging
a
out?
fun guy.
I wouldn't even consider him getting in the car with me. For one, I'm a Jew.
Right, yeah, you don't like him.
No, you don't like me.
Right. Ralph has a question for you boys, and then, of course, we'll get to the music. Ralph, go ahead.
Hey now. Kind of two questions. Did Kinnison have a big rig?
No.
It was thick, according to
But
Jessica
and
Hahn.
plus, when you do a lot of blow, it just it's a thimble.
Where did you see Kinnison's rig? Were you orgying with Sam?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he took his pants off, and there was nothing doing.
He ran around the house, jumped in the pool naked many a night.
Yeah, and his rig was nothing to brag. He was no Steven Tyler. He was no Chips Enough. enough.
No chips up. Definitely no Steven Tyler.
Yeah.
Definitely no Slash.
So talented, though. So funny.
So funny. He's so great.
He had a very firm erection, did he not? When it was in my mouth. Oops. Gee, I thought we were just talking.
I was going to say, I kind of felt it between my fingers.
Oh, shit.
Yes, brother.
The other question is there any guy in your life that you haven't seen his cock?
Yeah, Steven has a way. I'm afraid to hang around with this guy.
Howard.
This guy's going to see my cock.
I got to see your cock.
I got to show you my cock.
I have to see it.
At the break.
Before the day is over, I will see Howard Stern's cock.
All right, let's go to Jimmy. Jimmy, go ahead. The new book. We're celebrating Steven Adler's book, My Appetite for Destruction, the great drummer of Guns N' Roses, and now with his new band with Chips Enough, Adler's Appetite. Go ahead, Jim.
Hey, Steven.
Hey, Jim.
Have you ever taken a dick in your butt or mouth as an adult to get drugs?
No.
Never to, when you were at your most desperate.
I didn't have to. I sold 100 million records. Jesus Christ.
You're not kidding. You had money.
Yeah, I didn't have to.
You only took it for love.
It was David Lee Roth. Come on.
Right.
And he still owes me $100.
David Lee Roth.
What are you talking about,
Diamond
David Lee Roth?
What about, no, you're making a joke.
Of course I am.
You ever see Diamond Dave's rig?
Yeah, I have.
You have?
I fucked a few girls with him.
You
Oh
fucked a
my
few girls with
God.
Diamond Dave.
Yeah, did lines of coke this long.
And did
He
Diamond...
got a firm rig.
He does.
Yeah. He's no Slash or Steven Tyler, but me and him could get along together.
He's in the second tier, David Lee. He's got a big rig, but it ain't legendary.
No, he ain't
Oh, my God.
Isn't that something?
He's legendary.
Man, you fuck so many girls with other guys. It's crazy, huh? You ever fuck...
Well, look at pornos. That's what they're all about.
Did you
Isn't that
ever
what
fuck-
everybody wants to do?
Steven, did you ever fuck a girl, like, at the same time, like, with Slash? Like, was she doing, like, putting you in the mouth and he's doing her in the vagina?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
And Izzy was taking her from behind.
Three-way.
It's three-way. Oh, yeah.
So
every
Izzy-
hole and even the belly button was full.
Izzy was in her...
My headphones off.
Steven, this is a very big revelation. Steven, you're in her mouth, Slash is in her vagina, and Izzy would be in her asshole.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it would go round in circles.
Because it's a lot of contact between men, too, you know? It's kind of crazy. I'd have a hard time getting aroused during that. You ever share a woman at the same time with Kinnison?
Yeah.
You did? What about David Lee Roth?
Yep. A couple of them.
No kidding.
Yeah.
David Lee knows how to fuck, huh?
Yes, he does.
Eddie Van Halen ever partake?
No, I only partied with him.
Ever see his rig?
Never seen the little fella's rig.
Yeah. Wonder if he had his big rig or not. I bet you he
I
did.
don't know. He got little hands. Actually, got really big hands. The little fella's got big hands, too. Yeah,
Valerie liked it.
Valerie liked it for a
Valerie
while.
liked it.
Wow.
Was there any other members of Guns N' Roses that had gay sex?
No, of course not.
Let's go to Dave. Dave has a question. Everyone's anxious to talk to you guys.
It's usually 1 out of 5. Okay.
Let's go to Dave. Dave, go ahead in Boston.
Hey, now, what's up, guys?
Hey, now.
Hey.
First of all, I just want to say I'm not surprised that Ralph Sorrell is calling up asking about penis size.
How
But the other
apropos.
thing I just want to, you guys are always talking about the 5 best guitarists ever. I want to know who are the 5 best drummers of all time.
Steven, first you. Who are the best drummers of all time?
Roger Meadows Taylor from Queen. Peter Criss, John Bonham,
Peter Criss
Keith Moon from Kiss.
No kidding.
Really?
He was that
yeah.
great.
Oh, Peter Criss, amazing.
Yeah.
He got such a great swing. Listen to those old Kiss songs.
John Bonham. Absolutely Bonzo. Who else? Who are the other two? Give me
What about
2 more.
Dave Grohl?
Alex Van. Oh no. I'm sorry. Taylor Hawkins.
Yes, of Foo Fighters.
So, yeah, amazing. I finally got to meet him. I didn't
Right.
get to fuck anybody with him, but I did get to meet him.
Big
He
rig?
did tell me he fucked a lot of girls to Appetite for Destruction,
He
though.
did. That's
Yes,
good.
he did.
Who is girthier, Peter Criss or Alex Van Halen?
Alex Van Halen. No,
Alex
I said
Van
Peter
Halen.
Criss. Peter Criss, because he's got that great swing.
Don't you think Alex Van Halen is underrated? I mean, that,
Totally. Amazing player.
the fucking guy.
He does on drums what his brother does on guitar.
Yeah.
Right, but he doesn't get
He
the
doesn't get it.
acknowledgement.
Well, not that many drummers do. I'm so thankful that I'm getting, I get the love and respect that I do
You
as
should.
a drummer.
Were you taught as a child, or were you a
No.
prodigy on the drums?
Yeah, no, I had to learn from second to second, beat to beat. I
Listening
learned
to
from
records.
watching people, listening to records, hanging out at the clubs, the nightclubs.
Never had lessons?
Actually, I started taking lessons about 4 months ago.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Why? You're one
Because
of
I
the
want
best.
to better myself. I want to be a better player.
Who is teaching? Who is qualified?
Sammy Alejano.
He's
He's
qualified?
an Australian teacher. Yeah, he teaches me how to play double bass. And, like, I like drummers. I don't know
What is his
guy's
name?
Sammy Alejano.
Is he hung?
I don't know. I haven't made
Did you check out his rig?
I haven't seen his rig yet. But he plays mean drums.
Wow. Who are the 5 best bass players? Chips enough?
Well, of course, Paul McCartney.
I was going to say number 1, right?
Changed the name of the game there.
Right.
Geddy Lee's terrific.
Geddy Lee.
John Entwistle.
Right.
Great player. I love John Deacon from Queen. I think he's very underrated. Wrote all the biggest Queen songs.
Great band.
Yeah.
Yes.
Greatest band.
And last but not least,
Fleet.
Fleet.
Is a good one.
Great player.
All right, boys, now a real tough question. 5 vice presidents that were the best in history. Go ahead, Stephen. All right, forget that one. I'm just kidding around. All right, let's go finally to Mark. Mark, go ahead. What's up?
Hey, now. Hey, Howard, this is a great interview. I love these guys.
These boys are top-notch. They're at the top of their game. Don't fuck with them. Go ahead. Yes, Mark.
How and why is Steven still alive? He should have been dead 50 years ago.
You know, Ozzy Osbourne is being experimented on as we speak. They're trying to figure out.
Analyze Ozzy's brain.
And all due respect to Ozzy, I love Ozzy, but they should really be examining Steven Adler.
Well, the thing with Ozzy is he's managed to survive it all.
Yes, he has. Well, Steven will too.
Well, you know what? Believe it or not, and I've tried many times
to kill yourself.
It is very hard to kill yourself.
Describe in your book. You describe how many times have you tried to kill yourself? I mean, serious dozens. And why did you fail? What happened?
There's all I did is twice, 2 separate occasions. I took 100 Valium.
Go ahead.
Drank a whole bottle, the big bottle of Jägermeister.
Right.
Shot up 3/4 of a gram of heroin. Had the best 8-hour sleep of my life.
Wow.
Woke up, everything fine.
I woke up going, holy crap, I can't even do this right.
I'm still here.
It's easier to cripple yourself.
Did you ever try to hang yourself, shoot yourself, stab yourself?
No, just cut my wrist.
You cut your wrist?
Oh, yeah.
And you bled and you woke up and that was the end of it?
I bled for 10 seconds.
You see, you really do want to live, don't you?
Yeah.
Right.
Of course he does.
And thank God.
I just, doing this book, gave me an opportunity to get all this crap out of my system
when you're
move on.
When you're getting that much pussy and all the money, why would you want to die? I don't ever understand it.
Because I lost it all. I threw it away.
Right.
And
you
then
hit rock bottom.
I thought I did, but there was so much more deeper to go.
Wow. What a book. What a book. What a life. What a life. You know, this guy, when he had to go, he got such abscesses on his stomach. You'll read about it in the book.
Oh, God, it'll suck.
So when I mean abscesses, from shooting into his stomach, he got these, like, pus welts, right? And we went to the doctor, and they had to stab you a couple of times and cut them open. And you said shit came out of those wounds. What came out of there? Pus?
Pus. 5, 6 different colors of pus.
Ugh.
Did it smell?
Smelled horrific. Unbelievable.
I'm going to throw up. Hold on.
Yeah. Just thinking of it.
Oh, man. So great. Let's go to Mark. Mark, you're on the air.
Hey, now.
Hey, now.
There's no other place that you could have this interview but Sirius.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
That's why, who can debate what's better, terrestrial radio or this kind of radio? This is it.
I'm wondering, Stephen, where else are you going to be promoting this? What kind of stories can you tell, my brother?
Well, you can clean it up.
You gotta get the book and read it.
That's all. Listen, he doesn't need any other. Here's Gina, Chip's sister. When's the last time you spoke to your sister?
She's the casting director for Biggest Loser.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Hey there.
Hey,
Hi,
Gina.
Good morning, honey.
Hi, Chippy. Hi, Stevie.
Hi, darling. How are you?
Did you know your brother had one of the biggest penises in history of rock?
He loves to tell families.
Did you know that, Gina?
He brags a lot, I know, but I think it's all true. I've read it in books.
Gina, it's legendary. Have you ever seen it? Did you see him when he was a baby? Are you older?
No. I didn't see it when it was a baby. I've actually never seen it. But
You never got to see your brother's penis?
No.
Did you ever show Gina your penis for any reason?
No.
When he was a baby, you didn't walk around without a diaper?
I'm way older.
I wonder if it was... Oh, you are way older.
Yeah.
Gina, anything special about your vagina you want to share with us?
No, not in particular, but
all right.
And what about Gina? What about Jason? Anything about his penis you want to share?
Great, yeah.
Gina, there's a couple of my guys. There's a couple of my guys you have to cast on that Biggest Loser because they're getting out of control with the weight. And
we're still having open calls in 5-6 cities for the next 2 weeks, so they should come out to one of them for sure. I'll give them a VIP pass.
Very good, Gina. Thank you.
Do you think they could make it on? They're getting such big people for Biggest Loser.
If they've got at least 100 pounds to lose for men or 80 pounds for women.
Hey, let me ask you something, Gina. When you're doing the casting, if you don't mind, boys, if I ask Gina, because I'm curious about this.
Sorry, I don't mean to.
No, you're wonderful. Go for it.
When you look at the fat people, I would think you got to do more of this. You got to say to yourself, gee, if they lost weight, I got to find someone who's going to look fantastic and hot when they lose the weight.
And within the show, they could get down to a normal weight.
Right.
You are both 100% right. We met a girl in Denver who I pray makes the show. She was fantastic. And all I could do was look at her and say she would be so beautiful.
That's the key.
Right.
That's the key. Gina, I got to tell you something. I watched the show.
I know.
The reason I got disillusioned, these people would lose weight. They were uglier than when they started. I was like, why are they wasting their fucking time? You got to get people who get hot. It's Cinderella. That's all I'm saying. All right, Gina. Thank you, darling.
All right, we
lovely girl.
Love you. Give Hollywood Gilman our love.
Go see Adler's Appetite. They're amazing. They play the entire Appetite for Destruction album plus the new single Alive.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't know you did Appetite for Destruction.
Yeah.
Chip, you know all those songs? You got them down?
Of course you got.
Learned them from Duff.
How Steven is still alive. It's because he's got a whole life ahead of him yet with this is coming up. It's amazing. He should be dead 20 times over, I'm sure.
I tell you, you go and your brother's some bass player. You're proud of him, I bet, right?
Oh my God, Howard, you've been a fan of his for 20 years.
He's one of the best.
It was the anniversary of Baba Booey. He's been Boy Gary. I've been hearing him talk about since for 20 years.
That's right. All right, Gina. Thank you.
We love you guys, Howard.
That's Gina's enough.
Love you, honey. Give
Gina's
Rob my
enough.
Love you guys.
Love you, honey.
Gina's
Tara,
enough.
too.
There's enough name going on and on. A lot. I didn't know your sister was
Isn't that great?
famous. She's a casting director.
Absolutely.
His daughter's a big actor.
Yeah.
Your daughter's a big actor?
Yeah, my daughter Tara, she just did play Last Little Whorehouse in Texas.
And she did Grease?
Yeah, she did Grease. She's terrific.
Yeah,
No
wonderful.
kidding.
Yeah,
Where's
she's
she
gonna
live,
be
in
a star.
L.A.?
She's out in Newport Beach, with her mother.
Yeah, you still talking to the mother?
Yeah, get along great, just like you still talk to Ellen.
Sure.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's nothing like
I'm saying yes.
Families forever.
Family.
See, I've been married 10 years. There's no sex going on.
I'm married. I'm married.
I'm like my grandparents. My grandma has her room. My grandpa had his room. And they met in the middle.
I'm married. I got laid last week. Look at me. Even with my small rig. All right, listen. Let's listen to a little music. I'm going to play the boys out with this. This is their new single. As I said, these two great friends of the show, Steven Adler and Chips Enough, come in here. They promote. They tell you what's going on. They're honest with you. And now it's time for you to listen to their music.
This is new music.
And I guess you can get this on iTunes. Or
Today, with the book. Get the book. You get a free download of the song.
Hey, when you live at Steven's house, if you want to have guests over, do you have to get permission from Steven first? I guess you got to go to, he's sort of the big daddy.
Yeah, besides, like Dave Mancini / his guy, or Hollywood Gelman, or my buddy Wendell Ray, I can't bring anybody over.
Or Jason.
He prefers that I'd keep everybody out of there. But, of course, if my daughter or somebody came by to visit, he'd let him come.
You're all right with his daughter coming in?
Yeah.
Yes, he loves my
Can
family.
he bring his dates home, or do you want him leaving the...
There's no dates. We don't have time for dates. Who gets a crap out
What if he gets a date?
I got all my dates, and he got all his dates out in the 20s.
All right. Well, sounds like there are rules staying over Steven.
I think so.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry you can't bring a date. Maybe talk that out with Steven.
I know when you asked me to come to your pad, I could have bring dates over there at the little servants' quarters.
Sure, I'll stick you over at the servants' quarters.
Sure, love that.
Yeah. All right, let's put you in a little French maid outfit. All right, listen to me. This is the new single. It's called Good to Be Alive.
Adler's Appetite Online.com. You'll get every information, anything that we're doing, recordings, touring, merch.
Don't you love that Steven's singing through your plug? You're trying to sell. And
he's not very respectful.
I'm saying hi to
sometimes.
somebody.
Okay.
I'm doing a secret hello. Hi, Wendy.
Oh, you're very Wendy, stay away.
Thank you.
All right, here we go. Good to be alive.
Good to be alive.
Guys, how is it to be back on the show?
Oh, wonderful. Even better than last time. Of course, we're not having sex in the green room this time, but it's been a great time.
You talked a lot about sex, though, today.
That's usually what Howard likes to talk about. Actually, that's what guys like to talk about.
Yeah, he's giving you some crap for seeing a lot of other guys' rigs.
Who hasn't
It's just
seen
part
a
of the
lot
game?
rigs? It's part of rock and roll.
Part of rock and roll, right?
You've seen one guy naked, yeah, you've seen them all. Oh, no, wait, after you see one girl naked, you want to see them all naked. That sounded a little crazy.
Steven, you talked a lot about your past, you know, some heavy stuff. Is it hard to talk about that stuff?
You know, at first, I thought it was really going to be hard. But once I actually did it, I realized how healing it was, emotionally and physically and mentally, to just get it out of your system. And once I said it, even like the sexual abuse stuff and, you know, all that crap, it was just to say, it was just like, I thought it was going to be the worst feeling in my life, but it turned out to be the opposite, the best feeling.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks for stopping by, and good luck with the music.
Yeah, you'll be seeing a lot more of us. I'm just hit Tim Sabian up. We're going to have our own radio show here, so.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Forward to seeing you.
I want to thank Harper Collins, too, and Vanessa and Marty and this young lady.
Did you have sex with them?
Not yet. I haven't seen Marty's ring yet.
Are lined up in front of microphones.
Yes.
Well, we're doing a bit in a couple of days where some super fans are going to come in and battle it out for money. And they're going to go up against the crew here. And well, who's the crew here, Gary? It's you and Fred, right? And we need a third.
Right. So we're looking for a third. And
I'll tell you how this came about. So we needed 3 of our guys to go up against 3 fans.
3 super fans.
Of the Howard Stern Show.
Okay.
So Gary said, look, I know the most about the Howard Stern Show.
It definitely should be him.
I'll go up against the fans. They said, then everyone agreed that Fred should go up against the fans.
I think with Gary, you've got a slam dunk, period.
Well, we'll see.
And if anything he doesn't know, maybe I can fill it in.
So anyway, I think the third guy was John Hine. And then a lot of guys started going around the station going, why the fuck is John Hine the third guy?
Or maybe Ralph even.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people got really upset and said, you know what? I know more about the Howard Stern Show than John Hine does. I've been working here longer and I know shit. So I said to Gary, you know what? Let's test some of the guys.
Okay.
Let's find out.
All of these guys say they know more?
Yeah, and I'm going to ask each guy to go down the line, give their name, and say why they think they're such an expert on the Howard Stern Show.
You got quite a lineup here.
Yeah, here's the lineup right now. Go ahead, number 1.
I've been a super fan, Howard.
Who you are.
What happened here?
What's the matter?
Nothing.
Huh? What are you doing, Tim?
Sal doesn't know shit.
Sal doesn't even hear the directions.
Yeah, Sal can't even get the... Sal, give your name and then say your...
I'm Sal, I don't know shit. Let's move on.
No, Sal, why do you think you're the...
Well, obviously, I've been a super fan since 1987, back in the NBC days.
Okay.
I worked for you.
So he was a super fan.
I was.
Number 2, give your name and give your,
I'm Jim McClure. I'm a producer here. I've worked at WYSP since 1989, and then WJFK until 2002, 2003.
And you think you know more about the show than Sal?
I think I do, yeah.
Yeah, and you think you'd be a better third to go with Gary and Fred against any super fans?
I know a lot of stuff, I think.
All right, very good. Number 3, give your name.
Richie Wilson from Howard TV.
And why are you so qualified?
I won the last Stern Staff Trivia Contest.
Ah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Qualification.
When Sal cheated, remember?
All right, yes, that's right. Number 4, go ahead, please. Who are you?
Hi, I'm Brian from Howard TV, and I've been listening for 23 years, and I'm ready.
All right, very good.
Benji.
Hardwire A. Oh, Hardwire A. Thank you. Yes, Benji.
I'm Benji, and I've been a big fan since 2006.
Okay, Tim. I mean, who are you? Number whatever. Go ahead.
Tim Sabian. I've worked with the show since 1991 and been a fan since you left NBC.
You think you know that much about the show?
Yes, I do.
All right, and finally we have.
Hey, it's Jason Kaplan. I was literally breastfed to the show. Have not known life without the Howard Stern Show.
That's disgusting.
All right, very good.
Self-breastfed.
That's disgusting.
All right, so what we're going to do is find the third that are going to be teamed up with Gary and Fred.
So you got a little quiz?
Very simple. I'm going to ask a question. If you get it wrong, get the fuck out of here.
All right, it's an elimination.
It's an elimination speed round. And by the way, I just want to say...
Get out of here.
...that our good friend from the wrap-up show, John Hine, I think is being a bit of a baby, isn't he?
Why?
He refuses to participate in it.
So this is the word I got. And again, I'm getting a second here, but this is how it was told to me.
Yeah.
originally we came up with the idea of Gary, Fred, and John for a general trivia thing, right? So then when we went to this, John's name was in, and somebody who shall remain nameless stepped up to me and said, why is John the guy? I think I know more. And then we decided to do this. So I asked John, would he participate? And he said he didn't want to. And people think that John's not doing it because out of spite.
All right.
Huh.
Who's that person?
Who's the person? Who's the person?
I think it's Jason Kaplan. Yes, it was me. I told John it was me.
John, why not go up against these guys and prove the point?
All right. I was told I was doing this with Gary and Fred.
Right.
This is, I don't know, however long ago. Then all of a sudden, somebody asks me if I want to compete for the third spot. And I said, I thought I had the third spot. No. And then Jason
fast, buddy.
Exactly. And I'm like, well, either I'm in or I'm not.
Who do you think is best to replace you in this? Who do you think will know the most about the show?
Well, Jason's a rat, not him.
Not him. Go ahead.
I heard, by the way, I heard that John said he wasn't even positive that Fred and I should be the two in it.
Well, I said if I have to compete, then everybody
Which one
should
of
have
these
to compete.
guys will know more about the show?
I think it's going to come down to either Richie Wilson or Jim McClure, and my money's on Richie Wilson.
All right.
But you won't compete.
No.
Save your money.
All right, let's find out now. Here we go, boys. I ask you a question. You get it wrong, get the fuck out of the studio. You are not going to be in the Big Superfan Challenge.
All right, what's the first question?
All right, first question. Sal, you're up first. What is Howard's bulldog Bianca's full name?
Bianca, Rebecca, Romaine, O'Connell, Stamos O'Connell.
Wrong, you're out. Get the fuck out. Hey, guys, as soon as he gets one wrong, you just yell out in unison, get the fuck out. All right, there we go. All right.
Get the fuck out.
Get out of here.
I said.
All right, some people think that Jim might know everything. Let's go to Jim. Jim, I'll ask you the same question. What is Howard's bulldog Bianca's full name?
Bianca Romaine Stamos O'Connell.
Correct. You are in. Don't get the fuck out. Richie, some people think you are the Howard Stern Show expert. Let's find out. What year did Howard Stern graduate from Boston University?
I'm getting the fuck out.
Do you not know?
No.
Take a guess.
You're not going to figure it out?
68.
Wrong.
Get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out. Wow. He went down fast, huh?
Yeah.
Bet you all the other guys are going to go down fast. Let's see Brian
Everybody's
Phelan.
standing there like they're confident. What's the answer?
What year did I graduate from Boston University?
1976.
1976 is correct.
Yes.
Benji. What football player did Stuttering John lose to in a foot race?
Ooh.
Happened here on the show. John challenged him. You were here. What? Say it.
Get the fuck out.
Everybody.
Get out of here.
Get the
Herschel Walker. Get
Wrong.
the fuck out.
Wrong answer. Goodbye, Benji.
All right, Tim.
You know what part of this isn't working? Where we all yell out in unison, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
When I hold up my hand, we yell out, get the fuck out. Okay. I don't like that. All right, let's go to Tim Sabian. What football player did Stuttering John lose to in a
I got to
foot race?
take a stab at this. I think it's LT.
Get the fuck out! All right.
Take your headphones with you.
Don't hand us the headphones.
I don't want those.
Leave those off. All right. Jason Kaplan, you're the guy who started this whole mess. Otherwise, John Heim would be in this already. What football player did Stuttering John lose to in a foot race?
Was it Marco Battaglia?
That is correct. We're down to 3 guys.
All right. Back to Jim McClure.
Back to Jim McClure. All right, here we go. Which celebrity guest won Jeff the Drunk a butt billionaire date with Tabitha Stevens?
Ooh.
And now, if you remember
question.
that show, we played a game called Butt Billionaire. And the celebrity was playing for Jeff the Drunk.
I'm out.
Get the fuck out.
Jim McClure did not know.
Now, hold on. And now what happens if these next 2 guys don't get it?
Oh, that's right. Stay the fuck in.
Stay the fuck in.
Wait, get the fuck out, but go behind the screen.
Yeah, right. Don't take the walk of shame. Brian?
Can I have the question again?
Okay. Which celebrity guest won Jeff the Drunk a butt billionaire date with Tabitha Stevens?
That would be Mr. William Shatner.
Correct.
Wow. And Jim McClure can get the fuck out.
Good, Jim. Get the fuck
out. Jason, did you know that?
Yes, I did.
Okay, here we
well,
go.
you can say that now.
Which future whackpacker was first discovered online at the release of Howard's book, Miss America?
Oh.
Jason.
I believe that is Crackhead Bob.
That is correct.
Yes, so we have 2 people left in the contest.
All right, Brian.
Yes.
What celebrity was Howard and the crew talking about when news of the attacks of the World Trade Center broke out?
Pam Anderson.
Correct.
Oh, boy.
Jason Kaplan, what title does Mike Ganji hold for Howard TV?
Oh. Senior producer?
I might need a ruling on this. It's not. I'm getting a ruling from.
What do you say?
Well, why don't you
Here's
ask
the problem.
Brian if he can get it right?
Brian works for Howard TV.
Yeah.
And all right, I'll just count the question.
Is that senior?
I'm going to say supervising producer.
Yeah, that is correct. It's supervisor, but some people have called him senior producer.
Right.
I've heard the term. All right, so I'm going to let that slide.
Thank you.
Go to another question.
All right, let's go to Jason. Jason, the onus is on you. What high school did Howard Stern graduate from? That's a tough one.
Rockville Center?
Oh, that is correct, but
it's not.
It's called Southside. So
I knew that.
yeah. So let's go to Brian, and Brian's going to finally. No, this is the final question.
Yeah,
There's
if you get this right, you're the
This is
guy.
it. What was the name of the black traffic reporter that Howard created while at WNBC?
Mama Lickaboo Day.
Good enough. You're in.
Nice. Jason,
that
hold
was
on.
not the the correct pronunciation.
That's right.
He said
Mama
Mama.
Lickaboo
He said
Day.
Licka.
Spell it out.
It's pretty close.
Mama
It's
Luca.
Mama Luca Boo Boo.
It's spelled Licka, though, no?
No, Mama Luca Booble Day.
Mama Liquor? You think it's like Liquor?
No.
He's not helping his case here.
Lacka, I thought it was spelled.
Hey, I'm giving it to him. Come on. I mean, give the guy a fucking break. Mama,
Welcome to the team.
Hey, all right.
let Brian Phelan in.
Harry Belafonte's song.
Come on, man. I got the right town. If you got the kind of spelling, can
He
we
said
get
he
one
knew
more?
No,
Southside
but I
High
said
School.
Southside.
I think these
I
guys
knew that it's called
You
Southside.
said it after
No.
Howard said Southside.
All
Give
right,
him
you
one
want
more
to settle this?
question.
Here we
One
go.
more question.
One more question.
By the way,
Here we go.
Robin's right. When Jason didn't get it quite right, you should have thrown it to Brian to get
Yeah,
it exactly.
yeah.
You're right. You're right.
All right.
I fucked up. I'm a bad game show host.
I blame
You
Brian.
forgot your own game.
All right. Okay, here we go. I'm going to give you a super hard one. Super hard.
This is the
I'll go to
wheat
Jason
from the
first.
chaff question.
Let go Jason first since you were doing better.
Right.
All right. Here we go. Howard Stern performed a spoken word opening to the song When the War Comes for which band's album, Jason?
Blue Oyster Cult?
That's correct. Did you know that one, brother?
Yes, I did.
All right.
Another question.
Here we go. All right, this is it. These are hard, by the way. Who did Baba Booey Gary replace when he started working for Howard Stern?
Boy Lee.
That's correct.
Oh, geez,
Look
we
at
got
you.
a real runoff here.
Okay. Here we go. This is it. You ready, Jason?
Yes, sir.
You think you can handle this?
Yes, sir.
All right. These are not easy.
Been training my whole life for this.
How old was Kenneth Keith Kallenbach when he died?
I'm 36.
What do you say, Brian?
I'm going to say 30.
You're both wrong.
29?
39.
Oh, 39.
Can you believe that?
Wow.
All right.
Now we're still at this.
All right, Jason, you're first. While interviewing a drunken Henry Hill, Lisa G thought he said, I want to come on your face. What was he really saying?
Caramel macchiato from Starbucks, please.
Not exactly.
I want to come on, yeah.
Brian's right.
Uh-oh.
What did Jason
Brian
say
wins.
wrong?
It's I want a caramel macchiato.
Yeah. You need the I want? All right.
It's in the ballpark, though. You got to get another question.
I think
he didn't get it right.
Caramel macchiato was the part that she screwed up.
All right, all right. We'll give it to you. All right.
I
all right.
agree.
The judges agree.
Hey, caramel macchiato is the answer we're looking for.
All right. You guys agree?
I think I do, Fred.
Yeah,
I think caramel
absolutely.
macchiato is what you were looking for.
Yeah.
All right. I was looking for
that was
I
the
want a
key
caramel
word.
macchiato, but
Because
okay.
he goes, I want and that the disputed part was
It's
caramel
a caramel
macchiato
macchiato
or come
from
on your face.
Starbucks. None of that was said.
Caramel macchiato was said.
Yeah, but not from Starbucks, and you didn't say I want.
Listen, Gary and Fred just ruled on it.
They ruled
Nah,
that
he was definitely in the
close enough.
ballpark.
Okay.
Let's get a definitive question here.
We're never going to be done with this.
I know. Would you find a hard question?
I want to throw them both out.
Get the fuck out.
All right, Jason, here you go. You're hanging on by a thread.
Totally.
In 2006, named the wife of the rock legend that let Howard touch her boobs. So in 2006.
The wife of a rock legend.
That's right.
Who let him touch her boobs?
I touched her boobs.
Carmen Electra?
That is not correct.
The
Brian?
wife of a rock legend.
Uh-oh.
In 2006?
That's right.
Trudy? Sting?
Both of you got it wrong, so we're still playing.
Oh, my
It was Sharon
God.
Osbourne.
Oh, right, okay.
All right, here it is, boys. Jason, you're first. During what time slot did Howard have during his time at WNBC? What was my time slot?
We had 2 time slots at WNBC.
Well, I did.
Weren't you on in the afternoon at first and in the morning?
No. But they did move the show.
No, there was one time slot.
All right, then I'll say from 2 to 6 p.m. Afternoon slot.
Was that right?
No.
That's not right.
Okay.
What is it, Brian?
3 to 7?
That's right.
Oh, well, there
Yeah.
you go.
Why do you say there were 2 time slots?
Didn't they move the show?
No, you know, Fred, I got confused too. They did that here. They did that at K-Rock.
Okay.
We did 2 to 6.
3 to 7
3 to
was
7
the
is
right
correct.
answer.
7.
Brian, you win.
Thank you.
All right. Jason, even though one could argue that because you guessed wrong 2 to 6, he quickly put together 3 to 7.
You know what?
But I'm impressed with Brian's knowledge, and I do believe
too.
he should be the third.
Yeah, I've got enough third chances here. So.
That's right. Okay. Very good. All right,
Excellent.
Brian, you're
Brian
in.
is,
Get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out, Jason.
Wow. I wonder if now John Hine is saying I could answer all those questions.
Who knows?
Well,
I
give
don't
him
want to
5
know.
questions and see if he can do it.
Well, it's a very busy morning around here. A lot of hoopla. A lot of arguing going on in the
A
halls.
lot of carrying on out there.
You couldn't have answered all those.
Well, I ended up helping out Will with the questions once I knew I was out.
Right.
But I would have gotten, I think, most of them.
Right.
But
so why didn't you partake in this?
Because I was a little bit of a baby about it.
Just prove
I was like,
that
either I'm
you
in,
deserve it.
either I'm in or I'm not.
Yeah, but prove it.
Yeah, but don't tell me I'm in, and then all of a sudden
come on.
tell
You
me
know
I'm not
things
in.
change around here on a dime.
And it
That's
had
all I'm
nothing to
saying.
do with you.
But I'll tell if Jason won that, I was going to freak out.
Right.
Because you gave him 3 chances.
Right.
He missed Southside. He missed Ganji's title. And he missed another caramel macchiato.
Caramel
All right, let's see how good you are. How much do Robin's breasts weigh combined?
Before or after the reduction?
Before.
Who weighed my breasts?
You didn't know we weighed your breath? We knocked you out with a drug? And I don't know. All right. Thank you, John. All right, John. Well, Brian Phelan will partake in that bet. Oh, I'm exhausted.
Phelan, congratulations, man.
I'm the winner. Finally, I get some two here.
Did you think you were
Mountain Dew.
you knew more than all these guys?
Yeah, I knew I was good at trivia, definitely. I'm pretty smart that way.
Guys, what happened today?
Johnny,
Losers.
hi, what a
Sal.
Yeah.
Sal, what happened, man?
John's a little fucking bitch. That's what happened. You know? He should wipe his diabetes blood with a tampon, not with that stupid thing. Hey.
No, but Sal, you're a huge Howard
I came
Stern fan.
close. What I threw in Rebecca. Yeah, I said Rebecca Romaine, Stamos O'Connell.
Getting knocked out at the first question is not cool.
I'd like to knock you the fuck out right now. You know, what can I do? But Richie's a legend. He was the winner at the last contest. He was my biggest competition, and he got bumped out first too, so it wasn't easy.
Do you guys think were the questions fair?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, the one about the Howard TV titles was a little unfair because of Richie and Brian working directly next to Ganji. I thought that was a little, but otherwise, yes, I thought they were very fair.
And the 5 tries
fair
that you
enough
got after you got them wrong.
Yeah, let's say fair enough for Jason to keep changing the answers every time. So
Yeah.
I didn't change the answers. The judges kept my answers.
Good job, Benji.
Good job.
So,
Benji.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the contest?
Who's, I didn't even know, who's the Stuttering John? They say I had to mark it. Stuttering? Give a Stuttering? No, Vic. I love Stuttering.
now let's go over to John Hine, and we'll ask him some questions to see how well he does.
Yeah, come on.
John, my first question to you, John, is what is Ray Stern's maiden name?
That's GoToMeeting.com and the
Shipman. Get the fuck out!
Hey,
Ask your question.
How do you spell Ray? Don't know.
Get the fuck out! What were the core letters for Hartford, Connecticut?
Don't know.
Yes, you do.
No,
Come
I
on.
don't.
What a crybaby.
I was upset that I was told I was in it, and then 2 weeks later, because Jason bitched about it, I was told that I had to compete for it. I think it's bullshit. So I'm not competing. And you saw what happened. They were all idiots.
After hearing those questions, how do you think you would have done?
I would have gotten most of them. Not all of them, but most of them. I think Phelan did a good job. He deserved to win. Jason, I lost like 3 times. So, and, you know, the guys who really don't know anything, like Sal, choked the first question. They blew it. But,
Choke on this.
But, you know, ultimately it'll be a good team, and I wish them luck. And I'll have the pleasure of writing all the questions for the contest, and we'll see how good they really are.
All right, Lisa G is here with some headlines. Then we got to get over to the Mel Gibson tapes, and then we got to get to some other stuff, too. Let's go to Lisa G. Lisa.
Glassberg takes shits at work.
What do you have for us from the Howard 100 newsroom?
All right, Howard, after 27 years of giving himself shots of insulin 5 times a day, John Hines decided to get an insulin pump, just
What's
like
that?
Steve Brandano. You insert it, the little tube under the skin in your stomach, and the insulin goes in automatically. You still have to program it.
But where's the insulin coming from?
I guess it's in the tube, I think. He'll have to tell you.
So do you walk around with it like a colostomy bag?
It's on the inside, isn't it?
The little tube is on underneath the skin, and then there's like it looks like an old-fashioned beeper, but it's small, and it reads you the numbers.
How
Yeah.
many? It seems to me like everybody's got diabetes lately. You know what I mean?
Well, he's a juvenile.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
Diabetes person.
It seems
so
like
he was born with it.
a lot of people are being born with this diabetes. I'll tell you what the problem is. Was his mother and John? Were your mother and father a diabetic or diabetics? There's too much breeding going on. This is the kind of thing that should be actually genetically bred out. Were your parents diabetics? I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I'm going to solve this problem.
No,
were
they're not. No.
Where does this come from, this juvenile diabetes?
My uncle had it and my grandmother had it. So the one I have is genetic. It has nothing to do with my weight or anything like that.
If they didn't understand insulin, would you have died at birth?
No, I got it when I have juvenile diabetes. It's not the correct term anymore.
Let's say they didn't have this pump and this insulin and all this other.
He would die.
Yeah, if I didn't have insulin, I would die. The part of my body that produces
do you think
insulin
in nature wants these people to die, and then
Well, that would be natural selection.
Right.
The weaker of the species would die.
Right.
Early. They wouldn't breed.
I'm lucky to be here. There are two types.
Maybe you're ruining the rest of us.
Well, there are 2 types of diabetes.
All right, Hitler.
Well, that's right. Why did you? So do your children have this?
No,
they don't. But there was probably a good chance they could.
They could. My kids could get it, but there's so much more awareness now than there was before. When I got it when I was 27 years old. I was like, what is that? Am I dead? Like, what does that mean? I had no clue. So, and yeah, that's the pump.
So that's where the insulin is.
So the pump is in.
The pump is here, and then it goes to this tube, which connects to me here.
Is that better than sticking yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
And when you fuck your wife, you're connected up to that thing?
You can disconnect it.
Does she rub it?
Yeah. When you take a shower, do you disconnect?
I tell her I'm bionic now. It works really
well.
well.
And that Band-Aid, do you have to replace that Band-Aid every day?
This is every 3 days you switch this. So this.
Do you shower with that thing on?
No, you take it off for a shower.
What a pain in the ass. I'm sorry.
Well, any diabetic has to do shots 4 or 5 times a day as is.
Sucks dick.
It does suck. It does.
But there are a lot of people who are eating themselves into diabetes these days.
That's the other type.
Yeah.
Like 85% of diabetics
they're crazy.
Is obesity and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Steve Brandano and I were just blessed with it naturally.
Only 3 million people are type 1 like John and Steve.
Right.
So
they're not the problem.
I'm worried that more and more people are going to be born with this. I
don't think that's really.
No, I think that's right. I do think it's going to get worse over time.
Sure. Listen, the gene is being passed on.
They also are coming up with like amazing breakthroughs in this area as well.
Right. Jeez.
You know, like all of this stuff they're doing with stem cells and.
Life isn't hard enough.
Genome
now you got to walk around with a fucking pump.
That's why I didn't get it for a long time. I didn't want anything connected to me. Right. It feels like an IV all the time. You know,
it's
like
24/7.
So that's why I resisted. But it's really the best way to take care of your diabetes.
So you never have a fluctuating blood sugar?
Oh, I do still.
Mm-hmm.
But this acts more like your pancreas does, giving you slow bits of insulin all day long.
Is there anything good about being a diabetic? In other words, I was thinking the other night, like, I love the fact that I have good hearing. But if I had no hearing or I had a hearing aid, it'd be like I could take out my hearing aid and then I wouldn't have to hear like noisy neighbors. So there would be a benefit to being deaf.
Yeah.
Like with my glasses, I used to really annoy me when people would stare at me in a restaurant. I take off my glasses, I can't see them. So there was a benefit to having bad vision. Well, are there any benefits to being a diabetic?
If you're really hungry in a situation, like on a plane one time, stewardess was being really obnoxious for some. I asked what the meal was because I needed to shoot the right amount of insulin, and she was like, just kind of blew me off like I was an annoying passenger. And I said, I'm diabetic. I need to know. She came with pretzels, like peanuts, anything I needed. Then she got it. So you could play that card from time to time.
That's like the handicap card.
Right.
But we could all say that. Like often I go on a plane and tell people I'm a heart attack patient, a heart patient. That way I get special treatment. I often do this. So anyone can say they're diabetic, which I'll now use. I'll put that in my repertoire. But I'm just wondering if there's any real benefit, like a superpower.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I really don't think so.
There really isn't.
Mm-hmm. Can you like sneak weed in with your diabetic stuff to like a concert? Like, let's say you're going to a concert and you have to sneak in.
Well, it may make you more prone to glaucoma, so you could say you need a medical marijuana.
When I walk into places and they want to check my bag and stuff, the first thing I show is my it's diabetes. That's okay, and then you can just get right through.
Right.
So that helps a little bit there too, I guess.
All right. Well, no superpower.
Yeah, I guess you could sneak drugs with it.
You could, I guess. Yeah.
Right. There are times I like taking my glasses off and not being able to see everyone.
Sure.
I was thinking the other night, I was hearing music in my apartment. I said, boy, it'd be great if I just could take out my hearing aids.
Well, that's a sad thought, Howard.
Yes, I want to be defective.
It's a very sad thought.
Actually, the other benefit is I need to eat at certain times. So if you want to eat early, hey, I'm diabetic. So you can do that too.
I'll put that in my repertoire. When I get on a plane, I'll immediately tell them I'm diabetic. I need to eat right away, so I don't have to wait for the rest of the schlubs.
It can also be a drawback, though, because, like, nobody else is ready to eat, and you're like, no, I got to eat now. So everybody's like, all right, well, we got to go eat.
Yeah, I like that. I like the world has to bend to my needs. All right, Johnny boy, thank you for that update on diabetes. Lisa G., anything else from the Howard 100 newsroom besides John's diabetes?
Yes, the Stern Show softball team has made the playoffs.
Wow.
This after a big win Monday night against what Captain Will Murray calls the best team in the league. The Stern gang came from behind with the help of a Lee Garowitz home run and a great catch from Jared Fox. The Stern team won 6-5 and gets a spot in the playoffs.
Are you on the team?
No.
Any girls on the team?
Yes.
Wow. Who?
Tracy's on the team.
Tracy's the only girl?
No, there's two or three other girls.
You have to have a certain amount of girls, right?
Yeah, I think Will said you have to play at least 3 girls a game. Apparently, their shortstop is amazing. It's a girl.
Oh, all right. What else you got, Lisa?
All right, Gary Delabate working hard over the weekend, putting the finishing touches on his upcoming book, They Call Me Baba Booey. Gary's editor asked for more texture and description, so Gary sat with his co-writer trying to remember more details about his past. Much of the book centers on stories from when Gary was very young, and he doesn't have many relatives left to help him with the details. And those that are still around didn't really know much about the family secret and what was really going on with Gary's mother. The final draft is due in the middle of August.
Hey, Gary, that doesn't mean I have to read that thing again, does it?
No.
Yeah, I'm done. I did one reading and
one pass.
I did that under protest.
No. In fact, I'll talk to you about it later. But you have no work left to do.
Good. I mean, I read it.
This time they're going to have someone read it to you.
No. You like the audiobook?
No, look, I read it. I had my comments, and I was fine with it. But just because you did a rewrite, I'm not sitting there again with that thing.
No. In fact, as I told you, there's probably the only thing I would tell you is there's more stuff coming out that you'd be interested in.
All right. Well, I'll wait. You'll tell me about it. I'll sit there and read again. I gave it to Beth. I said, "You read this." I said, "I don't know what to tell him about it." She started reading it. That was it. She read 2 pages. That was it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get other people to read it. Hocking me with that book. But they call me Baba Booey. This convinces me that everybody has a book in them.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
I'm not convinced everybody does now that I read Gary's book. When I was at Record World, there was one fellow who used to come in there on a regular basis.
See, I'm interested in the guy whose life was coming
Baba
to
Booey.
the record.
Yeah,
Baba
his book
Booey.
I'll read.
Oh,
Baba
that's
Booey.
amazing.
And then
Baba Booey.
And then I went to work at WLIR Radio.
Baba Booey.
Because Steve North got me the internship. And then I met with Nell over at WNBC because she was a friend of Steve's, and that's how I got the job there.
See, it's networking.
Yeah,
That's what Gary's showing
It's
you.
networking. And then he's with these jobs, one job more horrible than the next. And then the big prize is he gets to work here with us. That's the happy ending. And now I'm the producer of the Howard Stern Show. Whoop-de-doo. He's got some background, this guy. They always say, everybody has a book in them.
Yeah, I mean, there's whole courses now in some schools where, you know, people go to learn to write their autobiography.
But you want to know something, Robin?
What?
Not everybody has a book in them.
Not everybody should put it down.
Yeah, right. No one. No, it's a complete misconception.
But being the producer on the Howard Stern Show, you have to have a book in you.
Yeah. Then Fred made me dress up in a suit for my
That's the
interview.
best. That is the best.
After Fred busted my balls, Boff came in and he said, "All right, Gary, you have a job."
Don't give away the book.
But wait, I read the whole thing. But Howard said to me, "You have a month probation." Well, every day I showed up and did a good job. At the end of the month, I said to Boff, "Do I still have my job?" And Howard looked at me and said, "What? Why are you bothering me?"
So the goofing started on day one.
Day one. And he goes, "Yeah, you have your fucking job." Everybody now knows the story of the famous tapes where I tried to seduce my old girlfriend, Nancy. But what they don't know is I was really hurting inside.
Oh, dear.
There's a whole chapter on those tapes.
So I assume you're not writing the forward.
No. Well, I'll tell you what, people will buy it, though, because they ain't going to believe it. Wait till you...
You gotta read it not to believe it.
Robin, I'm giving you homework. And everyone I'm giving homework. Buy Gary's book, read it, and I want you to underline 5 of your favorite, most fucking ridiculous passages.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Wait till you see this. And then...
And everybody can get in on this.
And my life started to change when I joined the wrestling team. Did you know I was voted most popular high school?
I was a high school athlete.
Yeah. And everything started to change. What started to change, you fucking loser? What changed? Everything
Does he
changed.
write about when he discovered he had bad teeth?
Yeah. There's a whole thing about that.
I still haven't discovered that.
Many people don't know this, but my mother took tetracycline when I was in utero, and then my teeth came out green. Then it's just Adelphi years.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people don't know this, but I went to Adelphi, but I could have gotten into University of Texas. I'm like, what the fuck? Who cares? Where you went to college? How dare you?
Tell a story.
Wait, people are going to love this book. This, to me, is the greatest book ever written. It proves that not everyone has a book in them.
You know, I was watching that show, CBS Sunday Morning, and
Beth passed out when she read. I had to give her insulin. She's now a diabetic from your book.
She got low blood sugar
Yeah,
from my book.
They did. I said, "Honey, you going to read the book?" She goes, "No." Meanwhile, I said, "It's the greatest. It really is a great book."
Thank you.
We are going to have fun with this book.
This book is so much fun.
Robert, I think I'm starting to understand how you felt when Jackie started doing interpretive readings from your book.
Oh, no, that ain't nothing.
Oh, that was plenty.
That was...
Oh, my God.
I would have hit him, by the way.
Chapter 8.
Jackie had such life in him at that time. He was like, I've got material.
Chapter 8. How my life would have changed if I went to University of Texas. Did you know I was most popular in high school?
I did not.
Many people will not believe it. But once I was on wrestling, I became very, very popular.
You know what's funny about you? You're an interesting person. I'll tell you why.
Why is that, Gary?
You can't remember anything.
Right.
But when
He's
you
remembering
haven't missed a fact yet.
You know, they gave me the IQ test. I didn't want to tell you this. And they asked me to retain everything I read in the last book I read. And they couldn't believe the retention level.
Yeah, your retention's amazing. You're like, oh, Gary, I can't remember this, but this you fucking remember.
This book, forget about it. I'm summa cum laude in Baba Booey.
Yeah, you know what that tells me? It tells me you were entertained.
Oh, yes. I'm giving it a big thumbs up. I told you. And I read the abbreviated version. Now they're coming out with a new version.
Yes.
What I read, I don't know.
This is the more intense version we're getting.
And I'll tell you this. I will buy a copy of the book, and I will underline my new copy of the book. And I will do interpretive readings from the book. Good. It's gonna take me through the last month here. When's it coming out?
Yeah, we
November
got to
2nd.
Soon.
Perfect, because I'm leaving in December.
Oh, my God.
I'll have a
we
whole
only
month.
have a month with this book?
We'll have a month, and I'll say my farewells.
You know, at this rate,
And guess what? I don't have to prepare for a whole month for this show because I'm going to have all the material I need.
That's
Maybe I'll
just bring in the book.
I might have to push the date back to like December 20th.
Right.
All of the Delabate men had nicknames. My father's name was Sally Foo. He knew all the mobsters.
Wow.
That's right. My father could have been a mobster, but he
So
decided.
he could have gone to the University of Texas. His father could have been in the mob,
Yeah.
but none of that ever happened.
Well,
And none of them touched me.
All of those things would have been interesting. All the things that didn't happen were more interesting than the shit that happened. So I read 2 chapters of father selling ice cream. I know a lot of stuff about Gary now. But I read it. He had a lot of weird jobs. He was a janitor one summer.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
See, I'm going to learn stuff.
Yeah. Oh, you can't even believe what you're learning. I felt like an insider. Who knew? What a stretch that Gary had to be a janitor. I'm sitting there reading.
That's an odd job.
I'm sitting there reading it going, what if Gary had never gotten the job with us?
Yeah, he'd still be a janitor.
He'd still be a janitor. With green teeth.
Oh, my God.
Man, I'm home.
He could have been that guy who sleeps in the boiler room
I think it was at a school he was a janitor.
instead of in our office.
Man, the principal took a big shit today. I had to clean it.
All right, so Howard's been ripping on your book a little bit, and he always says how he has a horrible memory, and you were saying how he seems to remember a lot of things from your book.
He does. He remembers a lot of facts from the book. He hasn't interpreted all of them correctly, but he remembers almost everything he read in the book.
Why do you think that is?
I think that when you want to goof on somebody, your memory just gets better.
And he said that he wants everyone to highlight their favorite passages.
Yeah.
Do you think this is going to turn into what happened with Robin's book?
Oh, I knew that, right, from the get-go when I first told Howard. I said, listen, I'm writing this book, et cetera, et cetera. I said, I'm sure it's going to provide hours of entertainment for the show. And so I knew that they would. But luckily, there's nothing in there. Well, there is some stuff in there that's too personal, and that's, I'm sure, what people will focus on. Okay. At least, I'm not taking a shot at Robin, but, a lot of Robin's book was about being molested, and when Jackie would come in and read those passages so happily, I always found that a tiny bit creepy.
So there's a little bit of a line that they might cross?
Believe me, it'll be.
Robin's birthday was yesterday.
I know.
And so, can't believe how old she is.
Happy birthday.
I can't believe it either, but George told me a wonderful thing today.
Yes.
What did he say?
He said his grandmother told him that you should collect birthdays. It's the most precious thing. Lots of people collect teacups and whatever. Collect birthdays. And he said his grandmother collected 105 of them. She was a really good collector.
That sounds really odd, what he told you. I want you to collect your birthday.
What the hell are you talking about? Yeah.
The most precious thing. That's what she said. The most valuable
What is she
thing.
talking about?
Birthdays.
She collects birthdays? That doesn't make any sense.
Well,
I mean, I love your grandmother, but what the...
So many people are afraid of birthdays.
Yeah.
They're fearful, and they quietly tiptoe past them. She said that's to be celebrated. It's a wonderful...
Yeah, but I mean, she's just putting a spin on something that,
But it's that attitude that's
spin
important.
to say it's a bad thing.
And then you encourage George by telling him you like the
What
advice.
am I going to say?
I have her genes
stuck in an
going
elevator.
through me. I intend to be around. I
Nothing better than being stuck in an elevator with George is giving you his homespun advice from his grandmother. Let me tell you something. Make sure you collect your birthday.
My grandmother taught me a philosophy.
Let me tell you about my grandmother. Do you have some time?
I'm going... That's floor 1, floor 2. He's still going about it.
Oh, is that why your eyes were on that?
Good thing we have 36 floors because Grandma Takei has so much wisdom.
No, it's my Grandma Nakamura. My mother.
Grandma Nakamura has such... George Takei is here. He's our announcer. Would you honor us?
Yes, indeed. This is George Takei, and I have a bone to pick with Little Loopy. Just so everybody knows, I was the first one in America to say the phrase, "Woo-hoo, I love cock." That's right. I was the one who came up with, "Woo-hoo, I love cock." I know Howard gets his balls all in a knot when someone steals from him. I'm the same way, buddy. You're listening to the Howard Stern Show.
I don't blame you.
I love cock.
There you go. There it is. She stole that from George. Lupe, say it.
Woo! I love cock.
Oh, that's the way you read it.
Well, that's it.
Peanuts is my favorite. Woo! I love cock.
Woo! I love cock.
I love peanuts.
I love penis.
You have a big penis?
You have a big penis?
Peanuts is my favorite.
What's my favorite?
Peanuts is my favorite.
Peanuts are my favorite.
Not peanuts.
That's what I
Peanuts is my
heard.
favorite.
Peanuts.
Peanuts are my favorite.
I love anal.
I love peanuts.
I love anal.
I love anal.
I love anal.
I love anal.
My God, this is like Berlitz for perverts.
It's over.
Repita, por favor. I love anal.
I love anal.
Repita.
It sounds like anal.
Yeah, well, she's...
I love anal.
Repita, por favor.
See? I love anal.
Peanuts is my favorite.
Peanuts are my favorite.
Penis.
You have a big penis?
You have a big penis?
I love peanuts.
It sounds like peanuts.
All right. Well, maybe she loves peanuts.
I think she does.
Maybe all this time this wasn't
Or
dirty
small
at all.
penis.
Penis.
David Arquette never showed up.
Oh, you're kidding.
No.
His
maybe-
man just showed up.
His buddy showed up, but not David.
What's
so.
happening?
I don't know, but I got to remind David I leave at 10 o'clock. I'm supposed to anyway.
What about Courtney Cox?
No, she's not in town. He's
not
in town.
He's in town.
Believe me, he's the draw.
But he's not here.
No, he never made it in. Maybe he overslept.
Maybe he's going to be late. Like someone I have sitting next to me.
Yeah, like Benji. All right. There was a bunch of things I was going to do here. First of all, yeah.
Everybody's asking out here for the Jackie stuff.
Yes,
Oh.
you mentioned earlier today that you needed to play some Jackie tape.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things to play, but all right, if you want to do a little Jackie tape, then we'll get to the news.
Okay.
Yeah, Jackie promoted his show by saying that he was going to answer any question about leaving our show.
Yeah, apparently he couldn't come up with any great way to say, another double entendre to announce the show this week.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's the same old Jackie stuff. But it was actually his best show, I think. Because it's always interesting to hear Jackie talking about us.
Yeah?
I think so. But, Jackie's got that convoluted Jackie logic that always does him in.
Which is why that's the beauty of Jackie.
Yeah. I mean, it's very simple. Jackie needed to... It's the best thing ever happened to me. I had to get off alcohol. Like, you need to be off the show to get off alcohol.
Getting up early,
Right.
You can't stop drinking.
In fact, if you get up early, it's more reason to stop drinking. I didn't want more. I wanted some more money, but it wasn't unreasonable. But it wasn't unreasonable to him. All that kind of stuff. For him, it wasn't unreasonable.
Well, it's always different when you're the payer, not the payee.
Yeah, I don't see him paying anybody. He's always looking for interns. Okay, here's Jackie talking about Benji ruining the rhythm of the show.
Oh, I can't wait.
You here, Benji, or are you out?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. It's interesting how you ruined the rhythm of the show. According to Jackie.
It was very weird that they sat Benji next to me because it was odd because
I did that. There's no they.
Who's this they he's talking?
Me. He never can say my name. You'll see it. It's a common theme throughout a lot of this Jackie stuff. It's me. I'm the one who decided to put Benji in the studio.
We had the perfect show.
We had the perfect show. Listen, so this logic is terrific to me. Listen in.
It was like it's like putting an extra guitar player next to Paul McCartney. No, I'm making a joke. But
so he's Paul McCartney. No, it's more like we have a show that does comedy, and I found a guy who's a good comedy writer, and I'm adding a comedy writer to the show. And I wanted him to experience being in the studio.
That would be like Fred saying that when Jackie came, he ruined the rhythm.
Well, yeah. You know what we should do? We should bring Jackie back on the show and then tell him he ruined the rhythm of our show. Kick him out. Have Benji fire him. At this point, I think Jackie would agree to any terms to come back to our show. I'm going to make Benji his boss.
Had the perfect rhythm and the perfect everything, and I was writing
the perfect rhythm and the perfect everything, according to him. Maybe I didn't think so.
Jokes on the fly, but not only was I writing jokes on the fly, but Fred was writing jokes on the fly and handing them to me. So I was writing jokes, reading what Fred wrote, deciding...
Wow, what a hard job.
He's on the verge of saying, I was ruining the rhythm.
Yeah.
Why were you
the
bothering
words are on
him?
his lips, and I think they've actually come out sometimes where it's like, you know, you only got in the way when I wrote those things because I felt like sometimes it might have been a duplication of what I said. Oh, we were already past it.
He gave me that rap a couple of times, and I said I wasn't interested in it.
I know.
I said, Fred's going to write, and that's it.
You know what? It's like, God bless Jackie. I love the guy. And contrary to what all the people in the audience say, I'm not standing in his way of coming back on the show. He wants to come. If Howard wants him here,
he talks about that. Don't worry about it. It's coming
good.
up.
I can't wait.
Between the two, putting them up, and we had a perfect rhythm. It was clockwork. It was Tinker's to Evers to Chance, to quote from the new baseball or the old baseball DVD series that's unbelievable. But we were a perfect team. Imagine, and what Benji wrote, or what he writes, is funny as hell. But it's like if somebody was sitting next to Fred, if you were sitting next to Fred and said, here, try this sound effect, I'm sure it would be great. But Fred's busy deciding what sound effect and putting it in. And if you're going, what about this one? And he's got to decide which of the two, it slows things up. So now, instead of just Fred, I got what I'm writing. I'm listening.
He's yelling.
I don't even know why he'd want to come back with all this difficulty.
You ever hear such nonsense?
I'm expecting him to say, you ruined the rhythm of the show.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's kind of it. Believe me, I ruined the rhythm of the show.
Listening to Howard while I'm writing, I'm deciding between what I wrote and what Fred wrote. Now I'm deciding between what I wrote, what Fred wrote, and what Benji wrote.
Well, imagine when I'm trying to talk and you're throwing up all these notes. That does not ruin my rhythm.
So I got my hand. There was no reason to have him, and I think whoever sat him there.
Me.
Whoever.
Like,
who puts somebody on our show?
Like on the Howard Stern show, who do you think puts people in the studio?
Who does that?
Whoever sat him there. Whoever sat him there.
Like, is he serious?
Oh, my God.
As serious as a heart attack.
I love that. Whoever sat him there. I sat him there.
Sat him so it'd be like, you see how easy replaceable? Imagine if somebody's sitting next to him.
And now, there's the Jackie paranoia. I love listening. This is what brings it all back. Jackie had said that to me a couple of times. They're trying there. It's me. I'm trying to teach Jackie a lesson to show you how easily I could replace you. That never even occurred to me. I just liked Benji. Benji had been interning here for a while, and he'd been working for us for a while, and I liked what he was doing, and I thought, well, maybe he can add something. I was trying to teach him a lesson. He got off.
It's going to be how easy it is to replace him.
It had nothing to do with it.
Him.
Wasn't looking to replace him. We offered him a boatload. We offered him a boatload of dough to stay.
No, but you could be reading into that, though.
It would be like, there was deciding between what I wrote, what Fred wrote, and what Benji wrote. So I got my hand. There was no reason to have him, and I think whoever sat him there, sat him so it'd be like, you see how easy replaceable? Imagine if somebody's sitting next to Rob.
No, but you could be reading into that, though. Because you don't know exactly why they said it.
No. I'm not, whether I'm reading into it or not. The point is, there was no reason. It's not like...
There was no reason. In other words, in Jackie's mind, everything was perfect. There was no reason.
Yeah.
But maybe in my mind, it wasn't perfect.
Although if it was perfect, why'd he walk away?
No, he's saying the show was perfect. Why would I put Benji there? In his opinion, the show was perfect. I never think the show is perfect. I look to improve the show.
We didn't have enough jokes. You know, imagine somebody saying to Robin, no, don't do this news story, do this news story. She's perfectly capable.
Nobody told him what to write.
No.
I just wanted more jokes.
And different perspectives.
That's right. Why not?
Capable. You know, nobody ever said, well, the show's not funny enough, let's kick it into gear, you know.
Nobody ever said that. How about I said that?
Maybe it could be funnier.
Yeah. Maybe we're sitting here number one in New York with an 8 share. Maybe we can pump that to an 11 or a 12. Who knows where we could go? Turns out Benji didn't pump it up at all.
Jackie probably was right.
That's right.
And nothing against Benji, but it was just an odd
Nothing against Benji.
thing.
He just ruined the show.
Yeah, I mean, no comedy show ever has more writers. That'd be stupid.
Why would you have more jokes?
Right. Why would you want more funny people working on the show? You like that clip?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought you would. Yes.
That's our Jackie.
There's our boy.
Little historical documentary.
All right, let's see. There's one clip where Jackie says he wants to be back on the show, and then there's
He
another clip
contradicts himself.
where he goes, it's the best thing I ever moved off the show. Let's see. Oh, you want to hear Jackie do his money rap?
Yes.
I mean, all of all of them work. Here they go. Jackie talks money.
All right.
What I'd really like to know, Jackie, and I'm a huge fan and I appreciate your talent, have you ever, if you feel any kind of responsibility for maybe asking a little bit too much, not saying everything you asked for wasn't necessary, but maybe asking a little too much and maybe...
Absolutely not.
Listen to this. Jackie was overpaid, in my opinion. No offense to Jackie, like he says about Benji. No offense to Benji. No offense to Jackie, but Jackie was over. Jackie, you know what? Jackie did not understand, and I told him this many times. He has no idea what people get paid in radio.
Right.
And we were the #1 show. That is true. But he got a very good salary. And quite frankly, Mel was very generous with him. Very generous. He should have taken the money and ran. And I told him that. I said, you're blowing it big time.
Absolutely not. I don't know what you think I asked for, but what I asked for was not enough.
There are guys running major morning shows that don't get a third of what Jackie gets. I'm telling you. I know what people get.
To break the bank. And I made a firm decision that I wasn't going to discuss numbers, but I'm sure whatever you think it was, it's nowhere near what you thought. What I asked for was absolutely fair.
Absolutely fair.
To him.
To him.
But what is fair?
Well, Jackie knows what's fair. You know how Jackie is. He knows everything. What I asked for was absolutely fair. They were getting a bargain, quite frankly.
The point is, it was more than they thought I should be paid. And it was,
They.
Those people.
The they. There's no they.
So I guess it was too much as far as they were concerned, but it wasn't like I'm asking for so much money because I want to lose the job. It was like I drew a line.
I think the same people that put Benji in the studio, they figured this out too.
Well, I love this. He drew a line in the sand, even though it wasn't all about money. He did draw a line in the sand.
Well, he used to say, I'm a hippie. I don't even care about money.
Right.
But here's what you're paying.
Stand for myself. And the bottom line is...
Jackie drew a line in the sand and then left with sand.
and now he's a beachcomber.
Right, now he's on the sand full time.
Rescinded and said, hey, I'll just take what the offer was. But it was.
By the way, this is 12 years later, and he's still yapping about this. It's enough.
This conversation was when?
12 years ago.
Last night.
No, this ran.
This ran last night. This is Jackie's show last night. It's almost like it was 12 years ago.
Too late. But no, I didn't ask for way too much. That is the honest to God truth. I've never ever said to myself, gee, I should ask for a little less because, it wasn't too much.
Wasn't it kind of a process and you were kind of at that point where you
what happened is we went back and forth twice.
Oh, yeah, he's yelling. What's he yelling about? We went back and forth twice. I remember. Jackie made his demands. They came to me and said, look, we're not paying it. You better fucking man up and get rid of this fucking guy. We're not paying him. I said, come on, give him another conversation, please. He doesn't know what he's doing. He'll come to his senses. I felt bad for him. I knew he was committing career suicide. I felt bad for the guy. Called me a sap. He got back on the phone with Tom. Not fair. Tom said, okay, we're done.
Goodbye.
And offer off the table, I am not hiring you. I don't care who goes to bat for you. I don't care if Howard comes to bat for you. I don't care if Mashiach himself lands on the earth.
He's back.
He ain't coming back. If Mashiach said, we want Jackie back, Tom. Mashiach, F you. He's not coming back. I'm not kidding. So that was it. I mean, and then he calls back a month or so later, and he goes, all right, I give in.
I'll take it.
He calls me. I'm going to take it. I go, it's off the table.
It's gone.
That's gone. That's it. Party over. What? You're ruining the rhythm of the show. Fuck Benji. Benji, I knew he took my job. But Benji didn't take his job.
No, he left his job.
Right.
And then I didn't hear from him for 2 months. It was a complete stalemate. So that's
stalemate.
No, there was no stalemate.
He was gone for 2 months, and 2 months earlier they had decided never to hire him again. There was no stalemate.
The negotiation was over.
It was over. But Jackie was used to getting his way.
Right. So he was sitting waiting for a call.
Right. The call didn't come. By the way, we're in the middle of a 12-year stalemate. If you want to technically call it a stalemate.
Yeah, it's never ended.
Right.
I stayed home, and maybe I shouldn't have stayed home. But who knows what the proper way to negotiate is? I don't know. They always told me get a lawyer, so I finally got a lawyer and did what the lawyer told me to do. It'd be pretty stupid that your therapist says stop.
The lawyer told Jackie, "I'm going to teach Mel Karmazin how to negotiate." Well, he taught him all right. He taught him. 12-year stalemate. The guy's still teaching him.
Well, you're teaching him.
What?
You're teaching him
I'm
now.
not teaching anybody anything.
Just by playing this back, you're responding.
On the head with a hammer. Well, fuck you. I'm going to keep hitting myself in the head with a hammer. What's the point?
So do you think they wanted you off the show, or do you think they just didn't want to pay you what you were asking?
I never thought they wanted. Geez, I have never even let that thought go through my head. You mean like
it's impossible?
Are you going to call me a Jew bastard now?
No, that's fun. No, that's a very viable question. Because if they wanted me off the show the first time, why would they have? Because they went from a figure to another.
Yeah, there was a big conspiracy to get him off the show. No, we wanted him on the show. I like Jackie. I like working with him. I turned to him when we were on that private jet to Vegas. We're coming home, actually, from Vegas. And I said to him, we're sitting there eating steaks, lobsters. Jackie was schnurring everything he could into that fucking handbag, his beach bag he carried.
He's carrying food home from the plane.
Bottles of champagne, you name it, in that fucking bag. What a schnurrer. I said to him, Jackie, where are you ever going to be treated like this? Oh, I don't care. I don't care, right? I can get along without any of this. I mean, if they're not going to give me what I want, I'm saying fuck you. I was like, hey, vey. As he's shoving the endless freebies into that beach bag. It was a magical beach bag, like Felix's bag of tricks.
It never got overstuffed.
It was bottomless.
Yeah.
Robin, I saw cases of water, champagne bottles, chicken, bluefish, all in that bag. It was bottomless. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Figure to another figure, so they moved twice. I mean, they were incremental, but
so it was a process.
It was a process for about 5 minutes, and then it stopped.
And it just got too ahead. And
but if it wasn't like, here's what we're offering, take it or get the hell out of here, and and it certainly was insulting. What my salary was to begin with wasn't insulting. I mean, it was a lot of money. It was a lot of money for a guy on the radio. It just wasn't a lot of money for a guy in the Beatles. I know everybody's sick of that.
I love him, though. I do. I love this guy. Listen, I gave him a show on Howard 101 because I like him.
Yeah, and here's the tape from that show.
That's why I like him. I got tape. I still can't believe that this guy doesn't have a thought process. He's a bright guy. I'd love to give him an IQ test. I guarantee it'd be high. But when it comes to common sense, there isn't any there. I hate to say it. I've told him that to his face. I said, Jackie, you got to put my brain in your head. You don't want your brain. You can't even add. Benji, you should start sitting in on Jackie's show and ruin the rhythm. You imagine you were clinging to the that flight to Vegas. Benji was clinging to the wing. They wouldn't even let him. We wouldn't even let him sit in the plane. Jackie thinks that Benji ruined the rhythm. I think Benji sat there quietly, wrote 6, 7 lines, and put him up there. Benji's trying to steal his job. We hear Jackie. You want more, Jackie?
Sure.
All right.
I'm fascinated by the Jackie logic.
Wants to be back on the show.
Have you ever just went in and maybe just tried to make amends with Robin, because she seems to be the one that's really get you back on?
We had a Christmas party. And everybody.
I had a Christmas party, and I invited him. We had a Christmas party.
Christmas party.
That's the Jackie mentality. We had what we. White man?
There's they, there's we, and none of it's right.
It's me. I threw a Christmas party that I paid for so my staff could have a Christmas party.
Yeah.
What is this we had a Christmas party? All right, maybe I'm reading too much into it. Did we marry Beth, or did I marry her?
Have you ever just went in and maybe just tried to make amends with...
I know Jackie didn't even like when I was dating Beth.
Really?
Well, I started dating her right toward the end of the relationship. I mean, he would never consciously admit this, but I had him over when I was using Dominic for his house.
Yeah. Using Dominic for his house.
Well, I was there, and remember I went to let Dominic stay at his own house?
Right, yes.
I took it over.
Yes.
Jackie came over one time by the pool, and he got a load of Beth. Then he'd always say to me, "Say hello to your beautiful lady." And I knew what that meant. Uh-oh. That was trouble. I knew he'd get jealous.
Mm-hmm.
Say hello to that give a kiss to the beautiful lady. I want her. I want her.
He wanted to negotiate her into...
Yeah, right. You are ruining my life. I want your life. I want your money. Oh. Say hello to your beautiful lady. Hey.
Robin, because she seems to be the one that's really...
So he put out the theory that you're really the blockade,
Right. Yeah.
To his happiness.
Get you back on.
We had a Christmas party, and everybody couldn't have been nicer. Robin said to me, "Why haven't you called me to go to dinner?" And I was like, from what I hear...
What, were you on acid? You want to go to dinner with Jackie?
He says, "Are you ever going to go have dinner with me?"
Yeah, oh, okay, that's different. Because I can't imagine you wanting to have dinner. I had to go to dinner with Jackie twice. Listen, Howard, let's get down to business. Reason for my dinner, of course I want to see you. I miss you. Yeah, right. I've been thinking, I'm enjoying doing the radio show. And I don't know if you want me on more nights, but if, I'm finding that I really like being the lead guy, the host. And I'm thinking, with your blessing, I'd like to go shop this to terrestrial radio or some of the other channels. Jackie, feel free. Well, I don't want to burn any bridges. Oh, really? You're not burning any bridges. So what are you saying? You can have your show. You can leave the show tomorrow. You can
Whatever is good for you.
If you get a job at terrestrial radio, I do not want to stand in your way. Feel free. I don't think you heard what I said. I could potentially
shop the show.
I'm going to shop the show. You're in danger of losing it. I heard what you said. And as much as I want that show exclusively, I'm willing to put my beliefs aside and my desires aside so that you can succeed. Well, what if Mad Dog Radio wants it? What's the comedy channel called?
Raw Dog.
What if Raw Dog wants it? Raw Dog? Okay. I'm all right with that. Really? You must be intoxicated.
You would never want to go to dinner with me, and she actually Facebooked me like
Is that true?
She Facebooked me like a month or two ago.
Did you Facebook him?
Yeah,
What,
well,
are you crazy?
I was looking in some, Jackie was a mutual friend of somebody. I was like, oh, there's Jackie, and I friended him.
Yeah. He's friend requested me. I turn him down. I ignore him.
And I actually asked her a question to make sure it was her. I asked her a question that only she would know the answer
identity
to.
proof?
And she wrote back, yeah. And she, what street you grew up on. And she wrote back the right answer. But then I never heard from her again. So, have I ever gone in with my hat? I've told them I would love to be back on the show, and I have no animosity. I really can't apologize because I don't think should I just say I'm sorry for whatever I did? If I, tell me what I did wrong and I'll say I'm sorry. I shouldn't have stayed home, but that was my only negotiation tool left.
How do we all manage to negotiate without staying home?
I don't know.
How does that happen? How do you manage never to walk out?
I don't know what goes on in his negotiation.
How come you used to say to him, Jackie, talk to me? I don't walk out. Fred doesn't walk out.
Right. No. Well, again, we have agents.
Right.
For years, he wouldn't get an agent. And He was doing this all on his own. And
why should I do it? I don't want to give up my 10%. I mean, why should they get 10% of my money?
It was ridiculous what went on with him.
He doesn't care about money, but he didn't want to give up 10%.
If he wants to come back, he sure knows how to endear himself.
That would be Jackie.
Right? I mean, and you know what the truth of it is? Tom did say to us, if you don't get this straightened out pretty soon, you're going to lose your, when you finally sign your contract, it goes retro to January 1st at the new salary. And he said, he actually kind of pushed the envelope a little, like, hey, if you don't sign, you're going to lose the retro stuff, and I'm not putting any blame on him, but like...
Listen to this negotiation, the retro stuff.
What blame?
I don't know. Blame.
I mean, Tom's negotiating as a businessman. Tom has absolutely no vested interest other than, okay, dollars and cents. End of discussion.
They tried to negotiate with him. He turned it down twice, and then Tom said, all right, it's over. That was it. There's no blame. Everyone had enough. No one could take it anymore. That was it.
I told everybody I would love to be back on the show, and if they wanted me back on the show, I would come on. To me, that's as big an olive branch as you could, right?
Oh,
what
an olive branch.
Offering an olive branch.
Didn't know we were at war.
Yeah, we're not at war. He thinks we're at war. Telling you. As nice as I am to him. I'm not at war with him. I liked him. I tried to hire him. I couldn't get him. I couldn't afford him.
Do you think Fred and Robin have taken this kind of...
Everybody says that, and I'm not sure. I'll tell you, from a pure comedy standpoint, Gary and Fred and Robin have been on holiday since I walked out that door. You know what I mean? I'd go like that, and it'd be 10 minutes of Robin, or I'd say Martian.
Jackie.
So
Jackie.
Nothing's happened to us since then.
Not
There's
at all.
never been another uncomfortable moment on the show for anyone.
Jackie was the instigator.
He
orchestrated
was the orchestrator of all of that.
Yeah. It's amazing how we've survived without it. It's been 11 years or 12 years.
Gary'd be walking out the door and said, Howard, look at that ass. And I was in trouble, but that was my job.
Right.
Rochester, that was my job. You know what I mean? So I can't believe that they have animosity towards me, but maybe they do.
Animosity?
And, if
animosity.
They're mad at me for fucking up the Beatles.
The Beatles. Hey, with the Beatles.
Put us back, Paul's mad at John for breaking up the band. Well, take John back in the fucking band, I'm
not mad at him for breaking up. He decided to leave. I'm not mad. And guess what? The Beatles are doing just fine.
You know what? It's more fun without him.
That's it. He doesn't get it.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, elaborate. Explain to him why it's more fun without him.
People just get along better here.
Right.
Nobody's at odds.
Right. We just come in and we enjoy doing the show.
Yeah, everybody really wants to be here.
Right.
And everybody really has a good time being here.
And quite honestly, there seems to be a better rhythm. To use someone else's words.
No. All right. Do you want any more, or are you done?
Oh, no. Come on.
Leaving was the best decision he ever made.
All right. Let's hear that.
Or do you want to hear Howard doesn't want him back? All right. I'll play you Howard doesn't want him back.
Well,
first.
I don't know how leaving was the best decision he ever made since he wants to come back.
That's what I'm saying. This is about 10 minutes later. He goes all over the place.
Everybody wants me to say that I'm sorry I left. I feel terrible.
He's absolutely sorry he left.
That the fans are upset, and I feel terrible how much it affected the show. But
it didn't affect the show in the least.
Oh, my God.
We had a bunch of good years with Artie. I don't know. We're having fun. We seem to move from terrestrial to satellite. And,
yeah.
It's just everything's...
How did it affect the show?
I don't know. The show's still going. People still want us. I don't know.
It was the best single decision I ever made.
But why? Why do you say that?
Because I've never been healthier or happier.
And the show, of course, was making him unhealthy.
Well, let me say this. We care about Jackie's health.
Right.
And that's why he can't come back.
That's it.
And
Thank you. Go have dinner with him and explain that.
And I certainly don't want him unhappy in any way, shape, or form.
See, that's the important thing, which
he's going to blame the show for him being unhealthy.
I think
hasn't really come up.
Is that we met him?
I think, here's my theory. He left the show His life was completely in shambles.
Yes.
And he stopped drinking because he said, what the fuck did I just
I gotta
do?
get myself together.
I guess if I sat on the beach for 12 years, I'd be healthier, too. And happier.
No, because nobody believes it. You know, it was like one of those dominoes things where I would have never got divorced. I would have never quit drinking. And that's nobody's fault. That's my own fault. But I knew I was caught in the golden handcuffs. Well, Jackie, why don't you just stop working weekends? Because of dangling money that any comedian that ever worked for...
Well, now no one's dangling money.
That happened, too. So that was a problem. That's gone now, too.
Yeah. Everything's been solved. In other words, he was tired and burnt out. So instead of giving up his weekend gigs...
He gave up his job.
He gave up his job, and now the weekend gigs are gone.
$20 a night is not going to turn down $20,000 a night. They're just not. And other comics totally get.
I thought you didn't care about money.
So some of it was self-preservation.
You know, it really was. I knew I had to quit drinking eventually. But those are my own demons. I don't put that on anyone. I don't. All I say.
Sounds like you're putting it on us.
My whole thing is, it was my right to make a decision. I made the decision, and I lived with it.
No, we made the decision.
Bullshit. You were lobbying for more money. You didn't get it. You
it
stayed
blew up
away.
in your face.
And then
2 months later, you wanted your job
you
back.
decided that it was a great decision. You didn't make a decision. You were staying.
I told Jackie, if he wants to be a great broadcaster, I did tell him this at dinner, you got to come clean and be honest.
Yeah.
That's not an honest answer.
It's like Ellen DeGeneres saying she didn't want to judge people.
Yeah. She wants to judge people. She just was lousy at it.
Yeah.
She won't admit it.
Jackie wanted to keep this job.
Right.
He blew up in his negotiation and ruined it.
That's right.
And so now he decided to leave.
Right. It's the best decision he ever made.
And I've just really enjoyed my life for the last 8 or 9 years. And I know people don't want to hear it.
But it's been 11
years. He's been gone 12 years.
He's been gone 12 years and he's enjoyed 8 or 9 of them. All right. That's not a bad
That's
average.
not a bad track record.
But that is the gospel.
The gospel, according to Jackie. So, all right, here's the last one.
Oh, God.
This is, he figured out that I don't want him back.
In all truth be told, and I think anybody in here would agree with me, if he wanted me on that show, I'd be there.
That would be me.
Yeah.
I'm referred to as he.
Finally, you were making some decision.
Right. Finally.
Not they, not
no.
we.
Bottom line, he figured out that if I really wanted Jack on the show, somehow he'd be back. Despite
Somebody else sat Benji next to him, but
right.
you could get him back on the show.
Howard, Fred, Gary, they all get to weigh in, but if Howard wanted me there, I think I'd be there. And that's the truth. You know what I mean? I mean, he loves them and respects them to death, but I really think it's, and push comes to shove, you know.
Do you have a thought of maybe why he hasn't asked you to come back?
He's cheap. No, see, I told you. No, I have no idea. You know, I'm sure it's over. I'm sure he thinks the ship has sailed, and I'm sure it has. Although, the one thing that doesn't make sense is the few times I've walked back in there, it's been so great. But, you know, maybe it's like going to dinner with your ex-wife. You can have a great time because you're in, you know, at the end of dinner, she's going home and you're going home, you know.
I knew we'd have a Jackie analogy in there.
Well, it's a good one. You know what I mean? But
complimenting himself. It's a good analogy. I'm his ex-wife.
Jairus, seriously, do you agree?
It's like dating your ex-wife.
No, but Jairus, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think you and Nancy are a very nice couple. No, I know exactly. No, I know what you mean.
But do I think it? I think it'd be great fun, you know. And it was very weird. I have no idea. And one of the reasons I haven't gone in there and actually confronted it and say, what's the deal? Because I don't know what the deal is with Artie. And the last thing I would want to do is be saying, you know, let me have a seat. If
yeah, Jackie would never want to step on Artie's toes. You know how thoughtful Jackie is.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that's what I'll tell Jackie. We're waiting for Artie.
That's right.
Yeah, we got it's like the Seder. We're waiting for Elianuvi to walk through the door.
If that job's still, you know, that makes the whole thing crazy. But everybody says, no, he's not coming back, which, you know, I think it's a dead issue, but I loved being on the show, and that's where I stand.
All right. There it is, a little of Jackie's show from last night. A little recap, if you will.
That is so much fun.
That is so much
How
fun.
come I still love talking to Jackie about why he left?
Maybe you want him back, and he could come in every day and talk about why he left. It's all over the place, isn't it? That's why you love it. Because you don't think any of that's real. That's why you love it.
I love the spin.
Wouldn't it be the incredible Jackie, the communicator, if he sat down and said, ladies and gentlemen, I called this show tonight that you can ask any question, and now I'm going to be the real Jackie.
Mm-hmm.
I made the biggest blunder of my life. I was a comic, was struggling for many years. In fact, I think when we hired Jackie, he was in his 40s. I don't know. I'm not kidding. Right?
Could have been.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And suddenly this guy, this very popular, guy on a roll, radio announcer, has a great team, taps me to be on the show, and I made a terrible mistake. And I want to warn the kids out there not to do this kind of thing. There's no job like what I had in radio. It was a one in a million. I was making great money. Also, my stand-up career blew up.
Right.
It was unbelievable. All because of this show and the fans. And I fucked it all up. I fucked it up. And I could kick myself in the head for this. And Howard even begged me. He said, listen, Jackie, do another 5 years. Make some money. Put it in the bank. He said it to me, and I ignored him. And that guy is a good friend. Because
it was the stupidest decision I ever made.
Right. He tried to tell me, and I didn't listen. And I am throwing myself at the feet of 10 psychiatrists to straighten me out. Wouldn't that be refreshing?
Getting the smile out of his voice, that whole thing, and just really coming clean.
But that's not Jackie, though.
Yeah, sounds out of character.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it would be compelling to hear the real guy. Oh, my God, I blew it. I blew it.
You're talking to the guy who blew one of the best gigs ever.
When you hear about Pete Best missing out on the Beatles, as Jackie always uses Beatles analogies, or you hear about, I don't know,
Brian Dunkelman
saying, I don't really need American Idol. I want to do my own thing. I mean, when you hear these stories, you go out, and Jackie should say, I'm Brian Dunkelman.
And, it's puzzling to me that he had this rant on Howard 100.
101.
101.
Right.
But that's the Howard Stern Network.
That's right.
He's saying that, all this ranting and raving.
Oh, I love it.
On the Howard
My fans love it. That's why I hired Jackie. Listen, and you know why I hired Jackie? Why? I feel bad for the fucking guy. This guy, I could not believe how he was self-destructing. So when he sat me down to dinner about 2 years ago, I don't know, how long has he been on our channels now?
Oh, it's been at least three.
3 years ago, we sat down, had a dinner, and he threw himself to me, and he said, listen, I would love to do an hour on the stations. Do you think I could do it? And I felt for the guy. He's not a bad guy. He's a very nice guy, and a fun guy, and a talented guy. But he just is his own worst enemy with this thing.
Yeah, despite the rant, he is engaging. He has interesting metaphors.
When it comes to this, he's very interesting.
The Beatles.
All right, the Beatles. Can you imagine? He's in the Beatles. And he was Paul, right?
John, he was Paul, yes.
Yeah, because John...
You're John, he's Paul?
Right, that's what it sounded like, what he said.
And... you, Benji, were the guitar player.
No, Benji was...
he's the extra guitar player.
Yeah. Well, they use a Beatles analogy. The Beatles used to bring in Billy Preston to play on some of their songs.
Right, because they wanted keyboards.
But to Jackie's like, well, that must have fucked up the rhythm. Well, Benji's Billy Preston. And I brought him in because I thought he added some flavor. I don't know. The Beatles even would bring in occasional musicians.
Sure.
Why not?
People are fascinating, and Jackie is the most fascinating.
There you go. I used to think you were fascinating. You're nothing compared to me.
Oh, absolutely nothing.
Big deal. Little cock here and there. It's not that fascinating.
That's right.
A lot of people are doing that.
Gary, so why do you think Jackie needs to constantly revisit his explanation for leaving the show?
Well, because people ask him about it all the time. Why do you think... people ask Suzanne Summers why she left Three's Company, or the other guy why he left MASH, the other guy whose name I can't even remember. But no, he left. He was a big part of the show, and he left. And I'm sure it's whenever he gets in any setting with anybody, whether he buys guys a drink at the bar, at some point when they feel comfortable, they'll be like, "What happened? What really happened?" And so it's it's something that he'll live with. Not that it's a negative thing, but it's something that's a part of him.
You don't think? You said it's not negative. You think like it gets to him, like it's under his skin?
No, because I think Jackie in his heart thinks he's right. I think Jackie really believes he didn't do anything wrong. And he didn't do anything wrong, except he left. I think he thinks we did something wrong.
What do you think about him saying when Benji came in that kind of messed up the rhythm?
To me, that's so weird. It messed up Jackie's rhythm, maybe, but every show adds writers, it takes writers away. You can't keep that means that we should never change. And so, Howard wanted to add a writer to the mix, and I think that's it. Like I said, it messed up Jackie's rhythm, but you got to think of the big picture.
You think that was like the beginning of it?
No. No. Jackie's rhythm being messed up and him wanting more money have nothing to do with each other in my mind. Okay. He left because he wanted more money, whether his rhythm was on or off.
Robin, so what do you make of this whole Jackie thing? Why do you think he feels the need to bring this up again?
Well, if you had done something that you couldn't undo, and, for most of the rest of your life, people looked at you and said, how could you mess up a situation like that? You'd always, I think, probably be trying to spin it.
He just can't get over it.
No, absolutely not, because he's still out there, standing at the window looking in.
And what do you think, how he said that Benji messed up the rhythm of the show? What do you think about that?
Well, I'm a great believer in rhythm. And I never noticed Benji messing up any rhythm of any show. I know when the rhythm is off. Yeah. And it wasn't Benji if it was off.
You heard that stuff that Jackie was saying about he thinks that you threw the rhythm off?
Yeah.
The show?
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Well, it doesn't bother me as much as it seems to, like, in a way I'm flattered that everyone seems in a way defensive about it, but I don't think he's saying that my quality was bad or my content was bad. I think he's just saying what he did, it made it harder, which I could understand. And I have some gratefulness to Jackie for he basically created the template of what I do. It's really all Howard, but it's like, he was an innovator with that kind of process.
So you don't feel that you threw any rhythm off?
No, I might have. I don't know. That's I can't judge how Jackie would feel about something like that. But I could understand what he's saying. That it could have made what he was, but
no hard feelings.
No, not. I mean, there was times in the past when I thought Jackie was mean to me, but I don't think this is being mean to me, and I think I have a nice, friendly, polite, hey, how you doing relationship with Jackie.
Were you surprised that everyone in the studio took your side on this?
No. I mean, it's no.
It's got to feel good though that everyone thinks you
right.
do a
But
good
again,
job
I think they're talking two different arguments. I mean, I think Jackie's saying one thing and people are kind of
they're not really
responding to something a little different than what he was saying.
This is a Howard TV original production.
Here's a taste of what you have to look forward to
on this episode of The Bonus Show.
We go back in time when adult rock, paper, scissors was cool. 1, 2, 3.
Benji hooks up in the green room.
Midgets are funny.
I see midgets, I start to chuckle inside.
And JD prefers ladies with oversized buttocks.
Like drunk in the trunk, I don't know.
Hello, Hello, Stern fans, and welcome to The Bonus Show, a weekly update of all the great behind-the-scenes moments you can't see anywhere else. I'm Sir John Hine.
And I'm Rachel Fine. Sir John Hine, were you knighted over the weekend?
No, we went to medieval times in Jersey, and the wenches were calling me Sir. Kind of liked it.
I feel so bad for your wife. When firecracker porn star Little Lupe came on the show, she brought her little porn star firecracker dog with her. When given the opportunity to make out with the porn star or the dog, guess which one Benji chose?
Can I hold your doggy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look outside today.
Oh, say, can you see? Those early lights, what so proudly we hear. To the twilight.
You'd think that after that French kiss, the dog would want to wash its mouth out. But Benji beat him to the bathroom.
Oh. That's it. We're all clean now. All right, bring in the next dog. I'm ready.
Liquid soap really does help with shit breath.
But you might want to soap up after the show.
Really, Rachel? Watch this clip from back in the year 2000.
The Howard Stern Show's Blast from the Past.
So me and Doug we're doing paper, rock, scissors right now to figure out who holds the mic near the chick's ass and who holds it near the mouth.
Paper, rock, scissors, what's that?
You don't do that?
No,
I will shoot it out there.
Odds or evens?
Best of three?
Best of three.
I'm odds, right?
Ready?
One. No, you have to do on three.
That was
one,
to throw you off.
Wait. 1, 2, 3. Even shoot, right? 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
Yes. Fucking
I get the mouth, you get the ass.
Yes.
That was fair and square, buddy.
Yeah, it was fair, but it's still bullshit.
Dude, you get the
Dude, give me a gas mask.
Dude, you get the big fat
You want the gas mask? I know. I'm not gonna wear it. I'll be all right.
Well, it's there if you need it. Just scream. You got a gas mask and you got an oxygen a mouthpiece. And we get your nose clip.
No, because why do you have the nose? You gotta breathe through the mouth. You breathe through your mouth.
Smell.
They smell.
They smell.
They smell. They just smell. Period.
I would have gladly held the mic by her ass.
I don't want to know why you would have been glad to do that. Will you just toss to the next clip, please?
I like farts. Now, if Scott DePace were a superhero, he'd be perfect, flawless man. His power would be to offer advice to others in need. Here he swoops in on Benji to save the day.
This guy had a really good strategy for, he said, to get here earlier, which I'm going to try his idea out.
How hard is it to get out?
I'm going to try his idea next week. So, no, I'm trying your idea next week. Next week I'm trying his idea.
Why not today?
All right, I'll try it today.
You already missed today.
Well, then next week I'm going to try his idea. He came up with the idea. Can we tell everyone what the idea is?
I already told you.
Oh, okay. So maybe other people can incorporate Scott's ideas to get places earlier. So
it was obviously on air. Howard said, Benji, there's this creative process. Hint, hint. That goes on. Maybe you might want to be part of it.
I am.
And you're saying, fuck you.
No, I'm not. But I like his idea. So maybe if you're want to, an idea, get there earlier.
Will and JD are like sister and brother. JD, of course, being the sister. They fight incessantly, always try to outdo one another, and take baths together twice a week. But deep down, I think they really love each other.
What the fuck?
Like, what's the one?
Don't use this footage, Chris. Just leave, girl. Just leave. How did this happen?
You tried to blow me.
No. Wait, what happened? It's nothing, man. Why were you on the floor? Why was I on the floor? Because I was in a chair. Oh, yeah. What happened? Did someone push you over? You didn't even see what happened. What the hell are you talking about?
Will, were you bullying Katie?
What?
Were you bullying Katie?
No.
Look at him laughing. All of a sudden, some of these camera time. That's so great.
What do you say happened, Chris?
We started to get a little romantic.
He said you were pulling his pants down.
I bent him over the chair.
Anyway,
and it just slipped a little bit. I apologize.
That had nothing to do with it. There was no romance going on.
There was a little argument. He wanted me to call him Barry Larkin, and I refused. I said I'm going with Pete Incaviglia. That's my dream man.
Many of the ideas for the show are flushed out in our creative meetings. Many other ideas are just flushed down the toilet.
Did you get your hands on some Ritalin again, Hein? Check out these guys kicking around a midget wrestling idea.
I don't think it's PC to kick midgets around.
John, I'm talking about kicking around an idea. You know, spitballing.
Oh, now they're spitting on midgets? This went from bad to worse.
What a schmuck.
Me?
You.
Do you have any interest in midget female wrestlers?
No.
All right.
We're good? Do you guys care about that? If they wrestled Sal, that might be funny.
If they wrestled Sal naked, it'd be funny. So funny.
You guys want to have them in?
Would they come in for a dating game? Who wants to date a midget wrestler?
Wrestle his kid.
Could you let him wrestle on the air?
So would you wrestle a chick naked?
Yeah, but I don't think it's that funny.
Well,
you're worried you'll get beat.
We're trying to take
No, what happens if, God forbid, I hurt her? I might punch her in the face or something.
Well, what if she hurts you?
I've seen you throw a punch.
I've seen you throw a football.
God forbid you lose. Forget it. This sense.
Time to switch from exciting and funny to boring and sad. It's wrap-up show highlights.
Hey.
We'll begin with JD talking about his big ass fetish. Ew.
That is kind of sad.
It's kind of gross.
Would you like me to plug this magazine?
No.
It's the greatest magazine ever. Straight stunting magazine where all this is a bunch of chicks with big asses bending over.
and then your favorite big ass is in there, right?
Oh, yeah. Ashley Logan is in here.
And what is she from?
That's Flo Rida's chick. So, yeah. It's my new favorite. I'm going to have to get a subscription now.
All right.
Have you got any big asses?
Have I gotten any big asses? Like what? In
real life?
Sex and stuff?
Yeah.
No, not like this. No.
Yeah. You do that weird thing that they do in porn where they just oil them up.
I don't like oil. I don't like it all wet and oil or whatever. I don't like that. I don't like
what do you like?
What do I like? Yeah. You know, like drunk in the trunk. I don't know.
Can you be more specific?
No. How can you be more specific than a big ass? I mean, I don't know.
Well, you said you don't like oil. You don't like...
Yeah, I mean, I like, natural plumpness,
Keeping with the fetish theme, here's Ronnie the limo driver talking about how he would like to drive Lisa G.
Oh, jeez.
Ronnie, God's honest truth. Straight.
I would do it tomorrow.
No. Have you ever fantasized about Lisa? Has she ever danced across your eyelids at night? Has she made the rotation? Guys know what I'm talking about.
Here's the honest truth. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm not like her.
Go right ahead.
The honest truth is I've thought about doing her a few times.
I believe that.
Can you tell us how the scenario plays out?
It's like this bad boy thing where I just walk up to her and grab her and say, "Listen, Lisa, the bullshit is over and it's time." And I'll take you out to dinner first if you want, whatever you want, or we can order in and have a nice, watch a movie and then, do it,
So romantic. And finally, and I say that with a huge sigh of relief, here is Fred talking about his midget fetish.
I hope he doesn't say anything about kicking them around.
Can you let it go, John?
My wife gets angry with me. When I see midgets, I start to laugh. Uncontrollably. I'll be walking down the street, and I get fixated on a midget. I don't know what it is. It's some sort of weird quirk fetish, whatever. No, I see midgets, I start to chuckle inside, and my wife gives me a nudge and say, "Stop it."
Do you try to hide it from the little person?
I try. I mean, I try to be respectful, and they can't help it, and they were born that way, and I shouldn't be doing that, and I'm supposed to be more evolved than that, but I'm not.
If you would have been with me yesterday, Fred, you would have died, because I'm with Fred on the midget thing, and then when they start to come in different forms...
And when they ask you a question.
Yesterday I was...
Hey, buddy, get out of the way!
Yesterday I was in the Diamond District. I was getting my watch repaired, and I saw a Hasidic midget.
Well, yeah, when they're a normal job, I went into a video store one time, and I walked into the video store, and there was a midget standing on a bar stool, operating the cash register, and you would go and I couldn't do it.
Because I was ready to go up there and say, excuse me, do you have any short films? And my wife says, no, I am going to go and rent them.
And by the way, I should point out, Fred, you'll be getting the angry email because apparently midget's a bad word.
I know. Excuse me. Little people.
But I can't buy into that.
You know what? I'm sorry. You know what? They're right. They're right. They're right. And I apologize.
All right, you too, Lou.
Except for Eric the Midget. I won't apologize to you.
Well, as much as we'd like the show to go on for another 30 minutes so the viewers can stare at a great set of boobs, we have to call it a day.
You are becoming a real pig.
Easy, Rachel. I was talking about these puppies.
Ew. For John Hine, I am Rachel Fine, and we'll see you next week.
Wait, Rachel, I have a way to add 30 more bonus seconds to our bonus show.
How's that, John?
Well, let's hear a joke from our robotic camera operator, the one, the only, Brian Phelan.
Let's hear a joke from our robotic camera operator, Brian Phelan.
How do you fuck a fat chick? Piece of cake.
Now that's one the whole family can enjoy. Bye-bye, piece of cake. Want some cake, Rach?
I didn't think I could hate you more, but you're just that big of a jerk.
What are you talking about? Piece of cake, sharing, happy.
What are you sharing and happy what? What are you trying to, what are you implying?
I'm trying to share cake.
Are you implying things, John?
Not implying anything.
That's what I thought.
Piece of cake.
Why do girls find Ronnie so hot? It's his designer glasses, his t-shirt and button-down matching shirts.
I think they like older men.
They like his energy of the brown and the experience of the gray.
It's the matching t-shirts, definitely.
Do they like his 1997 cell phone?
Oh, is that rotary? This is the new Ronnie.
That's a rotary cell phone.
Look.
Yeah. Just gonna sit here and be quiet. Yeah. Let him keep talking about it.
And a 50-foot string would look better.
Is that what you do?
It's at his home.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 years ago, I went to a party at his house. And John got up and started singing he had a band there.
Right.
He did a couple of songs. All of a sudden, Paul McCartney gets up with him. And then, like Bruce Springsteen was there. And then Roger Waters of Pink Floyd is there. And he's jamming with them. And then Billy Joel gets up and starts jamming. And I mean, could you imagine? It was the best concert I ever saw. And I'm dancing with Chevy Chase,
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's crazy. It was me, Steve Croft from CBS 60 Minutes, and Chevy Chase. It was a real A-list party, and I'm dancing with all these guys.
Croft is dancing?
Dancing. I had his pants down around his ankles. I mean, it was a real fun time, so it was a great thing. And so last summer, I wasn't invited. I found out there was no party, so I figured, well, maybe I'm on the outs or something, but it turned out there was no party. He waited. So this year, he did have another party.
Mm-hmm.
And him and his lovely wife, Dorothea. Lovely, lovely woman. Very devoted to John.
Why not?
Sure. Why not is right.
If you're going to be devoted to somebody, why not him?
I'm a man and I'm devoted to John. So, Beth did the cover of a thing called Hampton Social Life magazine.
Okay.
This past weekend. It came out. She's on a bicycle in a bathing suit. Don't ask me why, but she looks fucking good. No airbrushing, by the way. And the inside picture, she's on our bed with nothing on.
In your house?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Nothing on?
I think there's a bottom on a bottom. I don't know what's going on.
But she's covered strategically by hair or arms?
Yeah. One of those. She looks beautiful. She's a beautiful woman. She's a great wife, and I'm very lucky to have her. But
she's devoted.
She's devoted to a point,
Oh, stop it. What are you talking about?
No, she's not into anal. So,
never mind.
Believe me, I'm not into it either. Hurts to put my penis in someone's ass. I've done it a few times, and I don't like things poking back at me anyway.
Oh God!
Not that Beth would have that, of course. Anyway, so she was doing this. So it was the night of Bon Jovi's party. So she says to me, look, I'm going to be tied up with this social life thing because I have to show up because it's the magazine put me on the cover. You go to Bon Jovi's party and I'll meet you there. So I got very nervous because I don't like walking in by myself anywhere. I like walking in with her. People see I'm with a good-looking woman, right away they think better of me. That's the way I am. I don't like to be alone. I'm very nervous walking in. Somehow I feel I'm better looking if I'm with a a good-looking person. That's how I operate. That's how I roll. It's called neurosis.
I was going to say, yeah, that sounds very sick.
It's also called low self-esteem. It's called a lot of things. Well, anyway, so she sends me by myself, and I want to seem like, I'm the man, so I went by myself. And I showed up at Bon Jovi's house, and there were already quite a few people there. I tried to be late.
You don't want to be the first person there.
But it doesn't matter. I always end up first. But I wasn't. For this time, I was a little bit late, like 20 minutes late. And there were a lot of people there standing around on his beautiful porch. And Beth said to me she worried the whole time because I don't remember anybody's name. And
she helps you that way, too.
And I don't remember anybody I've ever met before. And
I know I have to reintroduce myself all the time.
I know. I swear, you just look different out of the studio. You look different out of context. So I show up at this party, and I really don't. There are people I've met a million times. I don't know their name, and I don't even recognize them. I'm self-centered. I care only about me. In fact, Beth said to me, you've got to start making an effort to remember people. You've met these people several times. Some of these people have been in your home. I go, I know. I said, I'm terribly embarrassed. I'm terribly self-centered, aren't I? I'm preoccupied. I got a real problem. I mean, I just don't remember anybody. It's all about me. I'm a narcissist.
Oh!
Not as bad as you.
Oh, stop it.
I mean,
I can remember people's names.
Well, not really.
Oh, stop.
You haven't remembered one assistant's name that will help you every morning.
That is not true.
All right. What is your assistant's name now?
They've got 50 of them now. There's a different one every day.
There you go.
I'm challenged this time.
All right.
But I'm learning.
Right.
Now, everybody comes in. I'm your Monday intern. I'm your Tuesday intern.
Well, when Beth's by my side, I usually, she'll whisper in my ear. Like, how the president has somebody who, this is the ambassador of India. Right. This is a Hapji Hanji. Oh, hello, Hapji Hanji. I need that. So anyway, I walked into Bon Jovi's party. I walk up and I see a group of guys sitting around, and I'm panicked inside. I go, oh, gee, I don't know anybody. Who am I going to talk to? So I see a group of guys. I walk over. I shake their hand. I go, hey, guys, how you doing? What's happening? Well, how do you know John? Oh, we don't really know him. We're the band. We were hired to play. I go, oh, then I realize I'm sitting with the band.
You're very funny.
So I sat with them and I said to myself, boy, oh boy. I came all the way to Bon Jovi's house. I'm sitting with the band.
How did I wind up here?
Yeah, so I talked to the guys for a while. I'm not a snob. And then, I believe they were very nice guys. A little too old to be in a band.
They probably just do this on the weekend.
Oh, I don't know. It seemed like a sad story. They seemed kind of depressed, quite frankly. I'm sitting there after a while, and then once they told me they were the band, I wanted to get up. But of course, you sit there to make it seem that you're not a snob.
Right. Now you want to get up and move, but you can't.
So I said to the guys, "Excuse me, where are the caterers? I need to meet with them." I want to go sit with them for a half hour.
So when you get there, you don't see John?
Not right away. Then I saw John. And John comes over.
So who greets you at this party? No one?
Well, everyone was just kind of hanging out. And then John did come over. He saw, hey, Howard. And I go, hey, John. And I'm like, ooh, thank God it's John, because I'll talk to John.
You do know him. You recognize him.
And 2 seconds later, somebody grabs him, and he completely loses interest in me. So now I'm back on my own again. So I better get some liquid courage. I got a couple of drinks in me. I walked around. I saw Sandy Gallen. I talked to him.
Uh-huh.
And I talked to a guy from Sony who explained to me why I don't need Sirius.
Oh.
And he had a whole theory. And I went, no, I love Sirius. He goes, I know you love him. He says, but you don't need him. He taught me about the SIM card and all that stuff.
Well, there was something good that came out of this party.
Yeah. Well, the whole party is like, why do you need Sirius? Everyone comes up to me. I go, listen, I like Sirius. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy. People are very involved in this whole negotiation. They want to know what's going on. I said, look, I don't know what's going on. I know I'm not being treated great, but I don't know what's going to be. I really don't know how this thing's going to fall out. I could end up here. I could not end up here. You know, but it's clear to me I need something to do at a party. I get very panicky. I should bring a lawnmower. It's got a huge lawn. I could sit there and mow the lawn.
You could mow the lawn?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm walking around, and then I became friendly with a very attractive woman. She runs Jimmy Choo Shoes.
Oh, yeah?
Tamara. I think she dated Christian Slater for a while.
Oh, yeah?
Ooh, sexy girl. Yeah, and she's a big earner. Now, there's a catch. Tamara Mellon, I believe her name is.
Uh-huh.
Her name I know. I told Beth I'd have any trouble remembering her name.
See?
Yeah.
It's guys you can't remember.
Yeah, and I spoke to, I don't know, I spoke to a lot of people. I spoke to this woman, Ann. Her daughter's the one who dated Lindsay Lohan. She makes jewelry.
And she used to be married to...
Mick Ronson.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, and I was socializing. I was doing very well. And I'm talking to everyone. So John McEnroe, I talked to him for a while. Patty Smythe, I talked to for a while. I was really a butterfly, social butterfly.
You're just moving around with your drink, talking like you're supposed to.
And talking and talking and talking and talking. And I sat down. They've served a dinner, you know, where you go up a buffet, fried chicken buffet. And I took a few pieces of chicken. Then I had to go sit at a table. I was very nervous about that. Whose table should I sit at? I want, you know, maybe no one wants it. It felt like school cafeteria. You know, where do I sit? Who's got the cool table? There was a table with Matt Lauer and Richard Gere and Katie
Richard
Couric.
Gere at another party where Richard Gere and you wind up together?
Yeah, but I didn't want to go over to that table. I felt like I wouldn't be welcome there. It was Richard Gere, Katie Couric.
But you know Matt.
I know Matt.
And
Matt.
you know Katie.
I do, but I don't feel like they really wanted me to be a part of their table. I'm not kidding.
Oh, stop
I'm not
it.
kidding.
What
And,
made you think that?
I was intimidated by that table. I didn't like that table. It was too much for me. I didn't know. I don't know if Richard Gere likes me. I didn't know what was going on.
So it became all about Richard Gere.
Well, I didn't know Richard Gere and Katie Couric, and you know she's there. I don't know. I know Katie came over and said hello to me, but yeah, I don't know if it was sincere. I don't know. There's a lot of thoughts in my head.
Sincere hello is not.
Yeah,
sincere.
I don't know if any. It didn't look like I should be at that table.
Okay, so who else? What other table?
I had my tray, you know, and I'm like looking at all, and the tables are set up like cafeteria tables, and I'm like sitting there going, I don't know what table to set. Beth's not with me. If Beth was with me, I would know what to do. I'd sit with Beth. But I'm on my own. She's still not there because she's over at the Social Life party where there's the Social Life mansion. And she says, oh, it's all these young guys who are, you know, I don't even want to know about that, what that was. So Dorothea said to me, come on, sit with us. But I don't know. I don't know if Dorothea really wanted me at her table.
Well, why would she ask?
She saw I looked like a wandering Jew.
She saw you were uncomfortable.
Yeah, she saw it. But I said, no. I said to Dorothy, it's all right. I'll go sit over. I saw, what's his name? Donnie Deutsch sitting over there.
Uh-huh.
So I said, him I'll sit with. I know him.
Mm-hmm.
I sat down with him and we were talking. He's a good conversationalist.
Oh, sure. Always yapping.
He was there with his friend. His friend was talking a lot. I don't know his name. But, you know, so I was comfortable there. And then Beth showed up, thank God.
I can't believe you couldn't sit at a table with Richard Gere.
Well, Beth said to me, you know, what are you doing at this table?
Yeah.
So I
Look
said,
at all these other happening tables.
So I told her, listen, I spoke to everybody here. I've met everyone.
And you still couldn't figure that you could have a seat with the Jimmy Choo woman or the...
I don't know where she was. You know, it was dark outside and the tables were outside. I didn't know where she was. I had spoken. I don't know. It was very complicated for me. Everything's complicated for me.
So you still never talked to Richard Gere?
I'm going to tell you. So Beth comes over. She goes, ooh, there's Richard Gere. I said, look, I'm not going over to speak to Richard Gere. He knows I'm here. Why doesn't he come over and speak to me? She goes, you're being silly. She goes, I love Richard Gere. Richard Gere has been, you know, Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
She goes, he was like my childhood fantasy, Richard Gere. Of course we should go over and say hello to Richard Gere. I'm not saying hello to Richard Gere. So then Matt Lauer comes over. He sits down.
Uh-huh.
Goes, what's going on with you guys? I go, Beth wants me to go over and say hello to Richard Gere. Because, you should go over and say hello to him. So who walks in then? Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson?
Jack Nicholson is there. Who's like, you know, I love Jack Nicholson.
Of course.
Who doesn't love Jack Nicholson?
He's beloved by all.
I see him walking around. Beth goes, why don't you go over and say hello to Jack Nicholson? I go, I'm not going over to Jack Nicholson. I mean, what is he? What? Because I'm famous, I'm going to walk over to Jack Nicholson? So Matt Lauer even said to me, I'm not walking over to Jack Nicholson. I go, why aren't you walking over there? He goes, because who even knows that Jack Nicholson wants to see me?
So he's got the same problem.
He's got the same problem. He goes, I could see it going horribly wrong. I go, me too. I could see it going horribly wrong. I could end up walking over to Jack Nicholson and be like, he'll be like, who are you? Fuck off. I don't know if I'm on Jack Nicholson's radar. I've heard from people that Jack Nicholson knows who I am.
Yeah.
He doesn't, like when I say he's too old to get hot chicks.
Oh, he doesn't. That's what he heard?
That's what I heard he heard. I heard from someone else who heard that he heard that I heard. That we said. So anyway, I said to Beth, yeah. I said, I'm with Matt. And then it seemed to register with Beth because Matt was saying it, that hey, I'm not going over to Jack Nicholson. And I go, that's exactly how I feel. It's not the right thing to do. Could go wrong.
Okay, so now what happens?
In front of my woman, I don't want to be humiliated. So anyway, she's carrying on. So
she still wants to meet.
Yeah, so I said, you know what, fuck it. I got to come through for my woman. Because you know what, she's going to end up and go over and meet Richard Gere by herself. And
he'll take her.
And he'll take her away from me. But he was there with his wife.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
It sure doesn't. So anyway, now I decide in my mind, I better go introduce her to Richard Gere. Because if I don't, she said, well, maybe I'll just go over myself. And I went, I didn't want that. Because, she could get swept off her feet and I could lose her. I mean, look at me and look at Richard Gere.
Oh, my goodness.
So we walk over. She walks ahead of me. I'm like, no, let me make the introduction. So we walk over. He's talking to some woman. And now I'm like, excuse me, Richard Gere, hey. And this is like what I hate doing. It's not what but I'm doing it because I figure I have no choice. So he turns around and the light is in his eye because it was dark outside when they had lights on. And he goes, who is it? He goes, let me get up. So he gets up and he sees it's me. And I go, Richard Gere, hey, Howard Stern just wanted to come over and say hello. My wife's a big fan. He took a look at my wife and he goes, you're very beautiful. So I try to make a joke. I go, thank you. And she's pretty good too, right? Next thing I know, the two of them are now deep in conversation about animals, animal rescue, the movie he had made with the dog, and his wife had made a movie. But they're hitting it off, and I'm just standing there like a schlep. Richard Gere doesn't even look at me. Like they're having a whole connection. Richard Gere doesn't look at me. Now I know what it's like to be a schmo. What do they call those film style watches where the guy, cuckold film?
Cuckold, yeah.
Where the white guy sits here while the black guy comes in and fucks his wife on the couch? I'm like, anyone need a drink? You guys need a drink? Trying to hold Beth's hand. Something, And then Richard Gere's friend walks over, some dude. He starts chewing my ear off. Now I can't monitor what they're saying. I'm out of my fucking mind. This fucking guy would not shut up. Howard, I saw you on pay-per-view. And I'm like, oh, for Christ's sake. For crying out fucking loud. I can't monitor what Richard Gere is saying to my wife. And my wife looks so beautiful, It turns out I was his Richard Gere. This fucking guy was chewing my ear off.
He was just waiting for his opportunity to pounce, and when Richard had your woman, he took it.
So I couldn't wait. I don't know what this guy was saying to me. Finally, he leaves my side, and I get back in the conversation, and, the conversation winds down, and Beth says to me, did you hear what Richard said about blah, 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 and blah, blah? I go, I missed everything. And you guys talked about what? Oh, yeah, and he told me this and then that. Now I'm like, oh... This went horribly wrong.
You had 2 lines with Richard Gere and the rest of the conversation was
and the whole night she's like, Richard Gere. And I fucking hated it. Because you know what? He is a good-looking fucking guy.
Does he look good in person?
Yeah. He's all Mr. Charming. I definitely felt like one of those cuckold videos. I'm standing there, while they're talking. Can you imagine?
Never met Jack Nicholson?
Wait, I'm getting there.
Oh, God.
So, so then the band was playing music, and John got up and sang a song, and I thought the big concert was going to start,
Right.
But none of the other recording artists that were there got up and sang, so that kind of fizzled, but it was great. I mean, John sang, and
And he's always great.
And I know why he's great, because when he sings, all of a sudden everything, the whole room stops, and it's you have to watch.
Yeah.
You know, he did one song. And then the band started playing, and Beth wanted to dance. So we're dancing. And you've seen my dancing. And Beth's a really good dancer. Like, she could win Dancing with the Stars. She's dancing and moving and this and that. And Richard Gere is up dancing, too, with somebody, not his wife.
Uh-huh.
And I see Beth looking at Richard Gere while she's dancing. I thought that I was the man in the middle. I thought she was really dancing with Richard Gere. Because she was standing more toward the front of where the band was, and I feel like, Richard Gere could see her. And I said, I feel like she's dancing with Richard Gere, not me. I wanted to just hang myself.
Oh, dear.
No, Richard Gere is not a guy I'm hanging with. That guy's fucking, he's dangerous. That is a dangerous motherfucker. I swear to God.
Yeah, now you know why he's a movie star.
I'm dancing with my wife, and I said, "Are you looking at Richard Gere?" She goes, "I am. I'm fascinated." I go, "You're fascinated? You're fascinated? I'm fascinated, too. I'll tell you who I'm fascinated with. Where's that girl from the Jimmy Choo shoes?" Yeah. She admitted to me. She was looking over Richard. Yeah, she was smitten. And he told her she was beautiful.
Well, he's, that's why, when you're in the presence of someone like that, because you could sit there, why is he a movie star?
Well,
then you know.
I think he looks very old.
I do, too. I'm with you.
Yeah. I said, oh, yeah, Robin. I told Beth, I said, oh, Robin's in love with Richard Gere, too. And Richard Gere is telling her about, he loves to ride horses, and he saves horses. And, and I'm like, oh, this guy's saying all the right fucking things.
Yeah.
This is bullshit. He better fuck up here. He's saying all the right things. He made this beautiful. He produced a movie about a dog. You got to watch it. You remember the movie with him and a dog? I can't think of the name.
I don't know this movie.
Yeah, it's on pay-per-view now. But
really?
And then his wife made a story about him and the dog, and forget it. All the right things you could say to Beth. I mean, Beth was in front of me dancing, but she was really dancing with Richard Gere. She was looking at, she was like...
You were there, but her eyes were on
Richard Gere.
Oh, dear.
I mean, I had it. I had it. Party was a bust for me. I don't want to go to parties with famous people. I want to be the most famous person in the room.
Well, then you should throw your own parties and be in control of the guest list.
That's why I have Ross over my house.
When she's dancing on the floor and Ross is there, she's
paying attention to me. Right. She ain't looking at Ross. No one is. So then, I don't know. I said, I started thinking about Jack Nicholson. There he is,
Was he on the dance floor?
No. He was sitting in a corner.
Uh-huh. Now, is he...
with a guy and a girl. Like, they were just sitting there having their own thing.
Uh-huh.
So I said to Beth, all right, I'm going to introduce you. So I did this thing where, I walked by that corner. I knew he was there, but I pretended like I didn't see him. I was just wandering. No one would wander.
Corner by accident?
Yeah, so I just kind of wandered over, and I went over, and I go, hey, Mr. Nicholson, Howard Stern, this is my wife, Beth. I shook his hand, and then he looked at me, and I went, and then I walked away. I didn't know. That was it. He didn't seem to be impressed with me or want to talk to me, and it was horrible. Wasn't good for me. It was kind of a...
Yikes.
But it was exactly what I thought it would be. It went horribly wrong. He didn't care. He didn't care about Beth. He didn't care about me. He didn't
even
No.
show a sign of recognition?
No. The lights were out. I mean, no.
That's the worst.
The eyes were dark.
The worst.
Yeah. So, that was... But it was a nice party. I liked it.
It sounds like a lovely party.
I had a really good time. You know what the problem was? I got there so much earlier than Beth. I had spoken with everyone. She got there. She was all lit and ready to go.
And now you're done.
I'm done. And I'm like, I want to go. And she's like, oh, come on, we're going to stay. So we're staying. I was there too long,
But everybody else was still there, right?
Well, some people left and new people were coming in.
Uh-huh.
I saw Ali Wentworth and George Stephanopoulos.
Mm-hmm.
They were just coming in at 11:30. I was leaving.
Do you know them? Did you say hello?
I know them, yes. I know everyone.
You do?
I'm Mr. America. I know everyone. Everyone's so happy to see me.
You're not worried about talking to George?
No. No, George was fine. But that Richard Gere boy, he's He's got
smooth.
it. He's smooth. He knows what he's doing. I think he could have taken my wife from me. I really do. We should call Beth. Let me take a break. I want to ask her point blank.
Well, she'll deny all this.
Yeah, of course. 'Cause she's stuck with me. Because I said to her, why don't you go be with Richard Gere? But I'm not hanging with Richard Gere anymore. It's over.
Oh. That's it, the last time. Well, you knew you should stay away from him.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew
You
it.
had figured that out the first time you met him.
He's trouble. Trouble.